a 1.38 rating. Stress on and Peepo right behind him on like a 1.37 and 3.6. So the fact that you can, we can talk about Kisserek and the back and forth between him and Venom being a part of that core once upon a time. The amount of firepower that the Sinners potentially offer up into this matchup, it pales in comparison to what Venom have offered up so far in this cup. And so this Polish squad is going to have to impress far more than any of the games that they've had before. This is the strongest opponent that they will certainly face within this bracket. And we do get out first on Mirage to see just how well the Poles do against their ex-teammate.
Let's see. Hopefully, for their sake, they can get us off to a good start. Such a fast pistol round. Look at this coming out from Sinners. Kisserek finds one. He is traded, but this will not stop the onslaught. Jungle is claimed. As long as they get the bomb down with a good plant for Jungle, this could go very well. It's planted kind of out wide behind Triple, and Shock gets another kill at range. Innocent and Sobel. This shouldn't really be possible. We've got two players in sandwich, so the first can face, the other one can try to kind of get baited in, as much as you can be in that sort of spot. And surely time, if for nothing else, will doom this round. Double sandwich now comes into play, and that was pretty much picture perfect for Sinners.
Yeah, they break in, they get into solid afterplants, and there's really just not enough that is available there for Venom to get anything really going. That one incendiary wasn't going to do much to displace. They would have needed a smoke and a diffuse kit really to put any sort of pressure in a significant numbers disadvantage, but the afterplant positions from Sinners were incredibly strong. So they get in, and they get out no problems with a pistol round. This will be an investment here for Venom. They've bought straight away, and they double up inside of the site already, but the pace from Sinners is significant. The AK on Shock is out, but there's HFA sidelining, and Closu also just combining in tow. So they drop the bomb at their disposal on this A bomb site, and HFA doubles up. They've only just now dealt with that SMG up close. This is going to be a tough round to recover.
I've had enough of seeing rounds like this watching Monty. I'll be honest. So many of these converted. 4 players alive. Huffer with 2. Clocksu with 3. I'm not sure if you heard it pronounced that way before.
I actually do believe I work with Trav to cover a Venom game, and he also said it's Clocks.
Yeah, it's Clocksu. So clock, tell the time, and then Sue like the name.
Yeah.
Which, thank God they told us it was that, because we never, ever would have intonated those words, being English speakers, from the syllables. And
yeah, great round between him and HFA on that A-bomb side.
Yeah. Of course, when you get these resets off, the terrorist money is so bad. Their force buying response is always going to be lacking a lot more than what they had to face themselves in the previous. What have we got? Smattering of flashes. If they had any smokes, they've already been deployed. Ugh. This is not going to be easy to cover the ground required to bring these pistols into play.
Well, this is a bit of a cheeky move that they're trying to pull, dropping the bomb outside of the B apartments and hoping that that will cause some kind of an over-rotation. Venom are not biting so easily. So they remain steadfast. They maybe lean slightly over towards mid, and Innocent rearing his head a little too far. Shock's Deagle takes him. And so there's a potential rifle to be recovered. Wasu as well will not want to continue to fight him on his low health and being that last bastion on A.
So it wasn't a good spot. You can tell his teammates that B is not a lightly board of calls soon, but as we can see, somewhat kind of false information. I do not blame the CTs at all for how they're rotating. This makes perfect sense with Sobel so advanced. What are the odds that they've gone 4 up catwalk and got such a timing on these A players? Sobel does find one. Bit of an early warning system. Calls to his teammates. You need to get over here right now. And you can see them all sprinting in towards Market. Shock decapitates Huffer with the scout. Still, though, they're on lesser weaponry. They're pretty well surrounded. and these frags are coming in thick and fast. It's just on kisserek, and there was just too many players to deal with. So gets a bit sketchy, but round win all the same.
Yeah, I mean, good on them for even getting into an after-plant position with a couple weapons that could make this threatening. Get themselves into a winning position, especially with Klotsu being low HP. It's hard to say that he really deserved to get more kills out of that position. And a shot cutting one down on the rotate, it was certainly doable, but it was always going to be a concern. Just the constant pressure they knew they had to deal with the apartments, and there was presence from market as well. Felt like that bomb site became incredibly claustrophobic very quickly. It'll be as deep an investment here from the Sinners. They get a bomb plant, so they can afford some extra pistols. Oh. And they are certainly hitting with them. Shock another headshot on that Deeg.
Okay, maybe we should pay attention. This round's meant to be the freebie. This one's a much lesser buy than the previous. What have we got? So Stressaren's still out behind top boxes. There's a player lurking through CT spawn.
Yeah, he's deep.
kisserek's in sandwich. Flay has no idea. He is assassinated on the rotation. Now the sandwich player swings. Kisserek didn't have quite as good of a timing as he was hoping. And that's a good kill from Innocent. Make it 2 to stabilize. That looks clean for Venom, but I don't think you're changing that much there for at least a bomb to go down and it to get into a scary afterplant.
If you had fast-forwarded past the middle portion of that round and just saw, oh, 3 alive versus pistols, yeah, that's fine. But the positions were, I mean, very compromising. They're lucky it didn't go much further than that. I have to almost half-blame Klotsu, really. He's typically that A-anchor, and a player getting deep into CT spawn is almost certainly his responsibility. Guns out, and Innocent and Flay dealing with the immediate mid-pressure that the Sinners try to offer up. Not getting much of a foothold on that position. They expend resources, they throw bodies at it, and they end up in a 3-on-5.
I love the opening. I don't like going 4A in a 5v3. There's no reason to do this as the CT side. It's a risk that you take in a 5-on-5 when you have no information, or a 4-on-4. Now Innocent is coming back, so at least some help. It still leaves Sobel a little bit on an island. His teammates further behind. That kill is good, though. Oh, the second. The second is beautiful. Sobel is a bastion on this site. Even without much help, he does his job to perfection, and kisserek can't even get the first man. Sobel is a beast.
Yeah, he played that to perfection, and it was all so smooth in doing so. You know, going from the jump spot to getting that smoke down into just rapid fire headshots. Sinners, eat your heart out. You may have had an easy-ish road through this upper bracket so far. It may have been uncontested. But when Venom are playing like this, things can get complicated very quickly. We are, you know, I think we are correctly looking at that veto and thinking about it as a 3-map series. Sinners picking into Mirage. But if Venom steal this one away, then it certainly turns expectations around.
Absolutely. I mean, the biggest assumption we made in this veto is that Mirage is heavily favored towards Sinners. And right now, granted, it hasn't been too many gun rounds, but still, they would have wanted a stronger start than this. Uffer's the only player on the site for the moment. Right until Klotsu comes straight through the smoke. Instant kills. These individuals on the Polish side are no doubt in excellent form, and is Sobel about to get a knife kill? No. He went up if he could get behind, I think, though.
Yeah, I think he was considering it, but no back offered up. Means only headshots. And that seems to be what Venom have prescribed themselves coming into this series. That push through the smoke there from Klotsu. The two instant kills he gets from ramp to palace. The flick is immaculate. This is really feeling like a bit of a non-starter here for Sinners so far. When they've tried to go for side assaults, they're losing numbers before they even really break ground. Even on the map control, they're encountering quite a few road bumps. This time, just a contact play out from kisserek. But he gets humbled by his replacement. Flay does get spammed inside of middle. So there is a trade at the very least here for the Sinners.
Am I missing something? How did he know? Oh my lord, Cloxy, you are...
Goes again.
You are... Well, that one I understand. That was too late. Still, the first kill was pretty monumental. Puffer's very low. And now Venom need to take a risk. Ooh, Huffer collects the kill despite being such low HP. That's going to funnel these Ts. They now have no alternative. They have no lurkers elsewhere. It's got to be B. Sobel, bit of a way out. He's towards ladder room. Huffer's clearing Palace, but is this information going to be translated over soon enough? Apartment's now being pressed. And these Ts have got an awful lot of space unsighted at the moment. They're playing cautious because they're thinking, how can there not be a site defender? We know the truth. And nobody's home. And now Sobel, at a distance, does peek out. Stressaren's exposed to short. That is an oversight. He knew no players are on the site. There's got to be CTs somewhere around. And it spells his demise. What have we got? Shock in the cubby. Bench occupied by Peppo. Both of them need to win their first fights here, I think. Sobel, lazy clear. Does not end well. Huffer gaining space, but nothing else, and it's just on Innocent. First kill is clinical, but time is a huge problem. Quick tap, but he doesn't have long. He's got to get on this, and Shock knows what's up. He's not going to face. Round finally goes the way of Sinners.
Not a single survivor here for either squad, but the Sinners hit excellent timing. Even with all this deep information on that A-bomb site, the Venom squad are just hyper-conscious of a walk-through connector with the presence that was in middle earlier on. One of the few times that Venom hadn't fought sort of vehemently for that position led to extra paranoia and an open B-bomb site. So Sinners make do with that extra runway. It's honestly a very diligent clear there from Shock in that after plan. His teammate was looking at it, but he still gave it a glance to deal with the flank. Maybe there's a weakness to be identified. Good nade onto Shock. Just trying to punish the jump spots over at B. But that's another time that this A-bomb side has been able to fish through for an opening kill, whether that's been dealing with the contact out ramp. This time it's a push through to Palace.
Yeah, double push. Play was there with his teammate. Tougher to find the frag, and they're actually going to bog down the orb over given the low HP. And you kind of alluded to it, but the fear, isn't it? Sinners lost all their players. They have no money in reserve. They'll definitely be on pistols. If they don't get even with a plant, they probably would be. They need to win this round. And that is much easier said than done. All four members in mid. So any aggression on the site from Venom will net endless real estate here. That's the risk. And Sinners, they're so reliant right now on these entries. Good kill from Stressaren. Still one more to deal with. Good flash. Sobel taking off. There's so many players here swinging together. Team kill be damned. You'll take that. Ollie goes in towards Market, trying to cut off these rotates. Flay is in front of it. Not super eager to go looking any further. Check out the flank from B-Stick.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
Wow. He was in mid. He's come up connector. As long as his teammates can delay a little bit and just stay alive, this smoke alone probably seal the deal because these guys aren't moving in fast enough. B-Stick springs his trap. And the only way out of this for the CT side is frags, and it is not flipping their way. Cloxu trying to get out. Might be able to save, but that would be all in. Doesn't even make it that far. Another round for Sinners.
Yeah, and some of the difficulties that Stressaren had been having so far on this T side are rectified coming into this round. The double entry, the scaling flash into short. It's a thing of beauty. It allows B-Stick to just plant himself in connector. The open runway that they had built towards B, B-Stick activates late, and it's not even a consideration from Venom given the pace that Sinners broke into that site. All right, I was wondering if we were going to get a game here on Mirage or not. The Sinners looked a little weary-eyed going to the opening segments of this game. But now back-to-back round wins. And you illustrate the point about their economy and the difficulties they could have had they not come away with a win and some survivors in that last round. They have an opportunity now to build some bank, especially if they deal with this buy, because that bank of Venom will also run thin.
It's clear to me already that these are the best two teams I've seen in the last few days. The level of CS here is higher. It's less about mistakes and more about who's making the right moves than other games we've seen. There's a lot of interplay between these squads, early aggression, mid-round rotation. Sinners have actually... I'm not sure if it's a little bit of luck or really great reads, but they're mid-rounding. They're finding big gaps or at least great timings. We'll see if that continues as we get into the late portions. It's offensive half for them. Venom's given up a lot of room in mid. I wonder when Sobel here is going to think about taking more room in apps. Yeah, he is going now, isn't he? Making his move. If we can get these numbers over, there'll be a lot in defense of this A-bomb site.
Far getting Molotov down a sandwich, so has to be forced to fight, but he gets out towards ramp, and Flay is just pinging them with that AWP as they come out from connector. Pivo does eventually deal with that ult head-to-head, but they're under pressure now. Less than 13 seconds by the time they punch in those digits, and there's a fast flank emerging here from Sobel, virtue of that push through to that B-bomb site. And while Peepo's attention is drawn towards CT, this is a free kill just as Peepo turns. He gets peeked at the worst time, and Klotsu is undeterred in his fight from jungle. And so Venom, they cast that net wide, and they tighten the noose just at the right time. They get that information at B, and they get a little bit of extra warning of that impending A attack.
You watch this team sometimes and you're like, at least the last few times I've seen them, and you think, you got Innocent and Sparrow in your wings. This is why you're making some good decisions. They make better decisions than similarly ranked teams that are in this tournament that have already fallen by the wayside. And we just saw it there. The mid-round moves, the small information plays, that one extra player defending just makes it impossible because there's just way too many crossfires to overcome. What have we got here then? Sobel.
He burst.
Yeah. He needs to hit his first shot, doesn't he? Hopefully flashes for his sake. Come over first. They haven't shown this yet. Strasarin peeks into it and wins his fight. Pressure massively on Innocent, and the flashes do the job. Combine that with a fragger like Strasarin, and you've got yourselves a bomb site.
Yeah, not going to really put up much of a fight, and so they won't fight back for the bomb site either. That's a rough miss there from Sobel. Strasarin, the flash scaling into the bomb site was sublime, but on his contact to that AWP, he did it dry. And just by virtue of missing that shot, the whole house of cards comes tumbling down on that B site. It's a pretty deep investment as well to go in for that. The double AWP. They will only be able to save one of them.
Strasarin, he's only got 5 kills, man, but the impact of some of these frags, he is blisteringly fast in his reactions when he enters these sites.
Yeah, 2 double kills on that B site. One up short, and this time out from the apartments. Absolutely sublime. And listen, Sinners understood that they were on a timer. They threw top mid, they threw a mid smoke, they threw a Molotov to connector, but there was no extra presence. Once all that util faded, they understood that the Venom side were likely to get information somewhere, and so they jumped that gun before Venom can even make that counteraction. Especially when so many of the plays and the opening picks for Venom have actually stemmed from that A-bomb site.
They're double calling this.
Another same play.
The same round, or at least very similar. This time, CZs are playing up close and personal in apartments. And beyond that, Floxu was even in ladder rooms, so... get the idea from Sinners. trying to play the mind games one step ahead, but it's pretty clear that Venom completely changed their setup. There's no double AWP to be found this time, and these rifles are doing so much work. Committing through that smoke, frankly, given we knew about the setup, was suicide.
Yeah, getting out of the apartments into that chokehold that the Venom side had built up already on the bomb site. It was a similar hold, but this time Sobol with his trusty rifle as opposed to an AWP, able to play around a smoke. More blocking util thrown by Venom early, just in case. And it pays off in dividends. You know, we give teams a lot of praise for holding on to their util for late round situations, but sometimes you do have to exhaust it early. This is a very pacey play out from BSync. It's a fast wrap to this B bomb site. They want to capitalize on a weakness that they seem to have spotted. Sobol, only one that's actually got any sort of ground on the site itself. Innocent's on the rotate, and Sobol finds perfect time to strike for at least one. Give some room here for Innocent on that rotation. There's no space to plant on the site itself. Sinners may have the site, but it is not free. Innocent is hitting shots. A fast shot into short. And Kisserek and Peepo are committed to the site proper, and they're getting peppered down by utility. The Kisserek kill could provide some safety, a way out, but they're just tagged so low. Even just a passing bullet, and these players are done. A 1-on-2 here for Peepo, and he cannot hit the shot. It will be a significant half out from the Venom side on CT, but Sinners picked into Mirage. We'll see if they can get it done on their defense too after the break.
Half two underway, Sinners, with some work to do. Mirage is their pick. It's a map. They have averaged 4 rounds lost in their last 4 games played. Well, newsflash, we're already up to double that figure. They have quite a lot that needs to change from that first half if they want this to be competitive. And Venom, in the meanwhile, Clocksu's on 15 to 5 kills. If he can get engaged, surely he can do something on this pistol, but he's lost so many of his teammates. They're all falling by the wayside. It's only this ramp prong left remaining for the T's, and it's going to be so difficult to make this work. Clocksu finds 2 fast kills. Still a man advantage, but Clocksu has been such a menace. It's innocent to find the other, and Sinners get a much-needed pistol.
Yeah, they were picking them apart before they even really broke in with the pistol round they had planned. They get the smoke down, but they lose 2 before they even get past ramp. Those 2 clawback kills there from Klotsu. It was a real chance, but the Sinners don't let that get away from them. They've yet to lose more than 8 rounds versus any opponent here in this ESL Challenger League Cup. And they're hoping to keep it that way. 8 is all they get. Should be the mantra. This is a force buy here from Venom, but late deployment on a mid-smoke as they set themselves up for a B burst. But that smoke inside of the apartments is quite fresh. They may just have to run on through it, and Beestick is playing close to that smoke. Yeah, flash underhanded, and Beestick full blind ends up with 2, does decent damage. In fact, finishes the job onto Clocksu too. And they may just clock out. Not a chance. Beestick's on standby, wrapping up cash with that MP9. And the whole team wants a part of the action. They're all spamming the smoke now.
Certainly do. Sinners look to keep this clean. I was a bit nervous there for a second because Beestick was a bit of ways apart from any teammates, but he has been on one in these last few games. He was fabulous against Monty, particularly the second map. And yeah, you said it for the series. It's a pretty fair assessment to say that we don't look at this lineup and expect Beestick to top the scoreboard, but when he does, it does present a pretty different look for this team. It means there's really no weakness.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same argument most people would have for most top teams in general. If your in-game leader is putting up beastly numbers and they don't even necessarily need their stars to perform, then you're in trouble. You know, that's the concept of a super team. It's just not always so easy in practice. In fairness, I think Beestick did get quite lucky. His crosshair placement was in the right place. Full blind, 2 instant kills on an MP9, and then a dink on another, while still unable to see a damn thing. He had full trust that his crosshair was in the right place.
Pure skill from Beestick, clearly. No fortune involved. Shock is in a little bit of trouble here. Fortunately, kisserek is a welcome hand to help out. Free for him. I feel like much more is going to come out of this round, and it does not. So just the 1 kill from Venom. As they look now towards the rifles, the money's very good for the defense. They could AWP up, and they actually choose not to. They certainly could have. Okay, there it is.
Yeah, I didn't get too many rounds to be that impressed with Peepo. Of course, T-side AWPing is one thing, but also these executes were very rifle dominated. So even when the Sinners were breaking bomb sites, Peepo was just the backup. Hoping to see more out from the CT side.
This is brave. Very brave. It's 2 players, but no frag found. I was more worried about him being fragged from underpass, but it's just a straight up fight. Falls the other way, so I guess it's 2 low players, but you'll definitely take this as Venom. You've got so much utility as well. And pressure now on Sinners to rummage up some sort of advantage. Is that Shock? Is that Shock getting aggressive in apartments, or is it... No, it's the AWP. It's Peppo.
Yeah, it's Peppo.
He must be on the wide angle.
Takes a deep line, so Sobel coming up these stairs could be in trouble, but on a Beppo's actually not peeking as deep.
Yeah, he doesn't have confirmation, does he?
They are drifting back to B, and he spots what he needed to, so now he takes that deeper angle, knows he's ready to pull the trigger, but doesn't actually fire off his shot. Missed out on his time and gets that incendiary down in 35 seconds. The Sinners are turning the other cheek, immediately barreling into the underpass as Klotsu tries to get some space out from the smoke. He needs to provide some extra runway, but Stressarin spamming away on the edge of that smoke. Shock dealing with one side of it, and there's just simply not enough room. Klotsu does fight back, and in fact, the double kill is great. Out from Ticket, Beppo misses his shot, but he's going to try and run down the planter, but it's all Klotsu all day. I dare not doubt his con plays anymore. Venom strike in with their first T-side round.
Oh, wow. I stand by what you said. It was correct. Sinners knew exactly what was coming in that round. To the point at which I'm not sure who it was, but whoever was jungle for them started spamming the connector smoke towards the bottom of the stairs. That is the level of how much they actually understood what was happening. And still, Klotsu, for my money, bails them out. The choice to flip into A, I think it came too early. I think they needed the player out of connector to make more of a move first. But when you got fragging like that, it makes any in-game leader look like a genius.
Yeah. Well, they may have had faulty information, or they may have made that decision too soon. But they're nothing but decisive. They saw that incendiary and decided, you know what, let's go the other way.
Money could quickly become a problem here for Sinners. Lose this and be definite ecos to follow. Very passive round from them so far. Remember, guys, that when we saw Venom on the defense, Venom was very proactive. If they lost mid and they knew it, you could pretty much bet your bottom dollar that there would be a reaction on the sides. There is one here. That's Shock. Quick clear of ramp. They don't know so much. They're taking a risk, though. B-Stick's lent over, so they are 4A, but that's not going to matter if they lose their numbers. Huffer with a very timely move out of Palace. Going to force a player to drop back towards ramp. Shock does get traded. And covering a lot of ground now. Innocent has so much control towards jungle. As long as this bomb goes down, and it does, this is problems now for this CT side. This is so tough. They have no smoke. I know it looks good for them now getting out of CT, but the only way to win this round is frags. Huffer decides to stand and fight rather than playing the bomb. There's a smoke on the top of connector, and I'm not sure it's really helping. Innocent will get his fight soon. Stressarin's gone looking. Needs to find this kill, and he does. Port and frag, and Stressarin looks for the kill, but the old guard wins out. Innocent, he's played that sort of round before, I guarantee you that.
Innocent striking into the fountain of youth. Every time we've tuned into Innocent, he has made the right play. He has hit instant headshots. His position in connector, Stressarin is expecting him to be deep, jump spotting perhaps to catch a player faking the defuse, or just trying to cheekily poke his head up for one kill, but a very committed spot there from Innocent that's totally unexpected. 15-9 from the Polish in-game leader. And Venom are on track to steal Sinner's map pick in Mirage. Full B stack, bomb outside of A. All they need is some extra information, and this is a free site. I don't think Sinners are going to make a move.
On paper, you'd probably expect Huffer and Flay, maybe Sobel third, to be top in the scoreboard. That is not happening right now. That is not happening right now. The supportive elements have become predators at the moment. They are doing so well. This round, fairly heavy eco from that CT side, so we're not expecting too much, but even then, they'd love to do at least some economic damage. Venom's money will be excellent and innocent.
That's what I'm saying.
His mechanics today are flawless.
Oh, and it's a lazy clear from Klotsu, who's done so well in rounds gone by. But he will sat stuck at 20. Innocent could still end up with more kills against the Eco here. No, it gets degged by Shock. And so there is a rifle that can be recovered at the very least here for the Sinners. The Venom are one step closer. 2 more rounds shy of closing on Mirage.
Strasaren's had such massive impact in those isolated rounds in the first half, but outside of that, they need their star player. Peppo as well kind of expected as soon as this half switch came in that he'd get more opportunities. Granted, this one's not on the ult, but still. When they're in strong positions, when they're the rotator players, we're going to expect a requisite level of output. We need a little bit more. What have we got here then? Fairly default stance from the CT side. Beastic, though, is going to clear apartments. He's got an A set he's using himself. Sobel would expect a player to be this up close and personal. No, he definitely does not. Wow. He had no idea what Beastic was doing.
Yeah, Beastic went for the fastest possible timing he could take into the B apartments and was able to slip by the deep incendiary he threw as well. So not only did kisserek get aggressive into the underpass, but Beastic's play to B apartments has netted them 2 opening kills. Will there be a good reroute? Innocent. Oh, it looks good, but the timing not great. kisserek able to make up for lost time on short. It's a triple so far for kisserek. It's another one of the stars that you want to see perform for this Sinners camp. It's done exceptionally well to register an 8th round here for Sinners. Just between kisserek and Beastic, bamboozling so many of these fights.
E players on the CT side doing a good job. Okay, so quick pause. This is Venom. Sorting out exactly what's going to be going into this round. We like these sort of pauses, you know. Slow the game, have discussions before it gets out of hand, get the most out of all of these gun rounds. And maybe use will be a little bit limited, so I guess they're probably planning out where said nades are going.
You mean to tell me I shouldn't wait until my opponent's at 12 rounds to call a timeout?
I know. Someone should tell Monty.
They're not the only one that maybe needs that memo, actually.
They did call more pauses yesterday, I'll give them credit. That Sinners game, they're not getting any credit.
Just kind of took it on the chin. If we win, we win. And if we lose, we lose. It looks like a bit of a never die attitude here for the Sinners. kisserek was aggressive underpass, this time taking an aggro line towards connector. But Venom are not offering up any of these early engagements. Still taking quite a lot of damage on the chin. Sobel did go for a little bit of a hunt on B. But transfers that AK over into Klotsu's hands. So after that initial probing, back to that A bomb site. Now they do have a smoke, a flash. In fact, they've got 2 smokes. So they can throw an exec.
Feels like we've used a lot of nades here as the tease for not massive gain. Strasaren's jiggling towards Delpan. He can tell his teammates, I'm not seeing much mid. kisserek checking as well down connector. And they're actually going to fall a retake. Shock is on a rotation. They've got to respect this util for now. There's no smoke for stairs, so they're going to opt for a molly instead. That molly is gone. kisserek is low HP. It's too frightful to go up and onto the stairs proper. Bomb goes down, and the CT fight is so much. The T's need afterplants. Trades for the moment favor Peppo. But it's not too bad for Sinners. They're whittling down the numbers. What's the next move? Huffer takes a duel from Palace. He's got one teammate with him here. Innocent will bide his time, let Huffer face first. The other one flays towards ramp. He needs to start making his move. Huffer is dealt with, and Flay peeks a little bit later. It's just Innocent, and there's a lot of commotion here on these defusing players. What's happened there? They must have got lost in the sauce. That fell apart.
They were not expecting two to be nestled inside of Palace for this post plant. They deal with that first player forcing fights. They're expecting one Palace, two ramp. And in that coverage, Innocent slips out and once again goes big for Venom. That's another 1v2 that the in-game leader has pulled through on.
He's been so good. So good. And Venom, said it before this series, Mirage should on paper have been a lock for Sinners. Sinners are so good on this map. They'd pick it into basically anybody. And Venom, they played a fabulous map so far. First half was brilliant. Second half, granted, slow start, but that's what happens when you lose the economic control. Now they're in full swing. And Sinners have so much work to do to turn this map around. They need their star players to start punching in big rounds, or we'll be on Ancient in no time.
Ooh, timing spam there for Kisserek is on the money. That's close. Floxu down. Flay as well getting dinked by Kisserek all the same. And Peppo has contributed with that AWP. But they do blindside the B player and Stressar, and problem is there's more where that came from. Two extra players on the rotate. Peppo was always here. But they're slowly clawing back that advantage into 3-on-3. Flay still low HP. Peppo a shot missed. Far could be incentivized to continue swinging inside the incendiary. Takes so much damage, and Peppo finally deals with him. It's only Innocent that remains, but he's been the unstoppable force. Another clutch offered up, and Innocent delivers again. This time a three-piece. Innocent with three clutches on this T side. Two 1v2s, a 1v3. Eat your heart out. This in-game leader's still got years to go.
Oh, this is the best I've seen Innocent play for...
It's such a
part of me wants to say a decade. That might have been extreme.
Closed the game with a 1v3, and those are just too far and few between. They're going to need far greater activations. They had three players in the top 5 statistically in this cup, but that was not the case in that opening map. Venom were certainly hitting and shooting harder. They had some good setups, some good information plays. They read the map well, and even when they didn't, they always had a clutch up their sleeve. Sinners are going to have to put their best foot forward on this CT side. Venom will start on the attack, and they already have some early plans set for B.
So quick, but there's so many in defense. There's 4 here for the CT side. Trastar and Kisserek get this off to a decent start. They are traded, though. And players forced back off the side proper. Flay with another dispatches of Kisserek. Flank is here very early from Beastic, and he needs to win this fight. He cannot. Innocent wins that fight. IGL on IGL. And Shock is left in a very much unenviable position. There's a smoke landing at his feet as well. Needs to get on with this. Smoke is not helping proceedings. And he's got full armor, at least full body armor still going, so I think he's going to favor the save. Good pistol, good trades, and important kills for Venom.
Yeah, traded well. Their util straight out from spawn into that B-bomb site. Even if they went into the stacked side, able to frag their way through it. It's crazy to come away from a map like Mirage, where so much of CS2 has been about new, young talents that have embraced some of the new mechanics, the patented donk slide, the quick peeking, the willingness to fight. It's strange to come away from a map like Mirage and have Innocent and Beastic be the highest rated players on either team, the two oldest players in the server. And it felt like, even in that pistol, that Innocent Beastic head-to-head actually was kind of the bow to tie the round together. So this is a force buy here for the Sinners. But not making any sudden moves. It's a very committed setup actually for a fight towards middle, and right now Venom are slowly approaching, but they've made some noise out from elbows, so Beastic should know what's coming. Attack's good. Beastic looking for the follow-up, and he will succeed. He'll actually double up with that MP9. It's only Flay that finally puts him to rest. That's the bomb, but Sobol's created a path in towards his A-bomb site. They should be conscious of extra presence, and Stressarn will make his presence known inside of Donut. The long-range MAC-10, it's not ideal, but it's beating out the 5-7. It's backup out from Shelf. Flay, a kill, but he instantly has to turn, and Shock gets the better of him. It's only Sobol that carved that path that now has to recover it completely. Bomb now retrieved, and a smoke on to that Shelf position allows Sobol's escape. So while Shock can recover a weapon, this 1v1 could still prove to be quite difficult. Yep, steps heard. Sobol hears and knows that he cannot commit to that plant. Shock was coming at him full force. He tries to get that Molotov out, and Shock tries to beat it, and he will succeed. Before he gets singed by those flames, he puts out Sobol. And just like that, Sinners have answered back with their force buy, but it comes down to a grueling 1v1.
These second rounds getting out of control. Another one slips to the way of the lesser. Sinners punch back really hard. Shock, big round.
Yeah, on Mirage, Sinners won both pistols, but only converted on one of them.
Important for Sinners to get into this game before it starts to slip out of hand. Of course, first half of map 1 did not go terribly their way. Beastic thanking his lucky stars that Shrastarin was on location. Prevent that from getting out of hand. Clogsu is hearing so much. Tries to go and root out Shrastarin, but is caught in behind. Off angle from kisserek, netting 2 kills. That is a clinic from him, and this Force buy is not going to find anything more after the opening kill. It's looking quite good now for Sinners.
I mean, this looked perfect, actually. The positions were well thought out. From Beastic, the hinging into Stressarn, to Clocksu as well, covering Stressarn off. And then that kisserek off angle. Venom didn't really have fair fights. It's only Sobol that remains, but Shock should have him. Tech 9 at a distance like this, yeah, won't get much done. And so it'll be 4 surviving here for the Sinners. They can build some money and make up for lost time after losing the pistol. It's another piece that we are expecting big things from. Hasn't necessarily always been consistent in the recent times for the Sinners, but has certainly been a consistent piece on the Sinners as an organization, him and Beastic. Shock off to a 5-0 start, came away with that clutch, and comes away with a double from that round as well. Used to think of him as the main man, but there are other pieces that have taken the spotlight recently. If not Beastic, because this guy is beasting. 3 kills in defense of the site with that Galil. And sure, it is just against the Glocks, but he could have very well been overwhelmed. And the rest of the team can simply sweep things under the rug.
On aggregate, he might be their best player over the last few days.
That's
obviously with Innocent playing so well on the reverse is quite a surprise. Quite a surprise. But that was just the eco. Now we're on the guns. This is Venom's pick. A map they've played plenty over the last few weeks, month or so. Played against some pretty heavy-hitting teams as well, so they are no strangers to producing a strong Ancient when needed. Let's see what they can bring out of the toolbox on this round. For now, pretty standard B-heavy default for them. Early util out. One onto cave. Smoke onto the red room as well as they look to creep forwards and claim their map control. There is kisserek here in towards the cave. Hardly hiding his presence at the moment. And we'll opt just to fall back. So nobody home. They're still clear all the same. Assuming somebody is here. That's a nice control now for Venom. So onus is on them. What is the next move? Some mid-util going down, but they need to push this player out of donut. They want to truly convince Sinners. There's a risk of something happening mid.
Yeah, boost up on long, though, does catch Flay, just probing in at ramp from the boost. Venom are hoping to find a gap. I mean, through the red room smoke they go. Bomb is trailing very far behind them, so they will need to find a pick here. Shock is covering it, long range with this M4, and he will pick off a player in the back, but there's the noose. Tightened round them. Stressarn and Beastic went back to address that potential gap through red. It's only Innocent that can pull this one back, but a 1v4 is one too many. Beastic puts him down. And the Sinners will find a fourth round themselves in this defense. So far, a dry spell here for the Poles after the pistol. And now a technical issue. Now we can only hope gets resolved quite quickly.
Yep. Stressarn's yet to buy, so it could be him.
I mean, if that's what we want to say is the reason he didn't perform. See it happen all the time. Bad game. The mouse wasn't plugged in properly.
Valid excuse. Well, I think you might have a really bad game if the mouse, if the mouse truly wasn't plugged in at all.
I know that I've seen a fair few times, especially as you know more and more of these smaller LANs are starting to emerge. I've seen more talk about interfering with frequencies that wireless mice use. I've seen it a couple of times where players have noticed that their mouse is less responsive because of some of the interference, and it's a very fringe case. It's something that can be sorted. It's, I think, usually like radio frequencies. But it is a new age of extra technical difficulties now that we're not plugging them in direct. We've abolished the cable.
It is a good excuse, that one.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed because...
because you're on the wrong radio frequencies.
Somebody opened the microwave over there. Something of the sorts. That would be something.
Are you a wireless mouse user?
I am. I've never had... Granted, I'm not playing, you know, anything to the level these guys are, so...
Sure.
But, no. Equally, in my flat, there's not a lot going on in terms of other technical equipment. I'd be pretty stunned, I think, if there was a real issue. I mean,
they're tested for those types of environments, surely, right? So
yeah, it's also like times when that sort of thing happens is more. It happens quite a lot in audio. That's different though. We're using old school XLR cables where, you know, they're carrying a lot higher currents, and there's a lot more to be interfered with versus you know, small little interactions via microscopic waves.
I mean, even if you put your phone too close to a microphone,
yeah,
if it's on data, it'll start making noises through your microphone that shouldn't happen. You know, you said it's more with audio equipment, but you know, I fully have embraced wireless mice, but I've also gone back to wired mice from time to time. And it ain't, you know, it feels nice to ditch the wire, but it's not as bad as we seem to make it out to be.
Oh no, you also, I'm sure, if you get used to the positioning of whatever's holding your wire, kind of your body works around any resistance. The brain is incredible at learning those sort of things, kind of dialing them out.
It's exactly why there are some players that are so ADHD about their setups when they get to LAN. Some are very meticulous, measuring everything out to the centimeter. And then there are others that just go on vibes.
I kind of rate that, you know. There's also something to be said of like, in any kind of competitive or sporting discipline, like when you go through a checklist of just checking things like that, it just gets you way more in the zone and helps you kind of focus on the task at hand rather than any pressure or this sort of thing. This is all helpful.
Something the Venom guys, I'm sure, are also having to learn, even if Innocent is on the squad. Some of them have had very limited LAN experience. Thunderpick, most recently, would have been a great experience to acclimatize to new environments similar. And they may have to think about optimizing their own setups so that when they get to these LANs, they know exactly what to punch in.
Okay, we're back going. Enough talk on the wireless. Let's see some Counter-Strike.
Oh dear, they've been bombarded by Util, and yeah, Kloxu doesn't really get much of a chance.
He was committed. At least he was committed.
Were not.
He stayed true to his orders from above and ran straight in. That's a good kill. Sobel opens a big gap in mid. They're now streaming in towards Donut. Long range fight on the AWP. That will certainly be favoured. They're very much trapped now as well with the molly going down on the front of Donut. Oh, big kill from Flay. Make it 2. A third would truly open up this round. Definitely competitive now though, and the CTs need to play much more of their wits about them. Kisserek goes looking for a second time, does collect, and he will just about beat Flay in transition. Flay with an open plant.
Oh, wow.
Risky stuff, and Kisserek, very bold round, and it pays dividends.
Yeah, Kisserek did a great job of disengaging when Flay was simply just tearing heads straight off, but then re-engaged at all the right times, cleared red, beat him to B, and then even took the gamble that he was going to be committing to the plant. A great round from Kisserek through and through, salvaged what could have been a pretty dire situation, actually. And Sinus just tried to deal with those Tech 9s. But now Venom are back in with a full buy. AWP. But I imagine with these rifles, they'll want to go for a burst of some kind, and yeah, they're sitting behind the incendiary at ramp, but they want to contest this B bomb site. Trades are good. Initially, Peppo does well to actually duck himself away, but Kisserek doesn't actually commit to fighting with him. Tucked himself inside of cave, playing for the after plant, and the damage is so significant here for Venom. They need a quick kill, some space to play in the post, because they're getting approached in from all sides. There's a flank that Beastie can operate on ramp. The flash is great there for Kloxu. And so it's back to 2-on-2. But that bomb is planted for long control. And so Kloxu has to remain active. He's on 3 kills already. Beastick wrapping in on this flank. And as Beastick clears things out, he'll spot Flay, but he doesn't get a clean kill. Kloxu comes in to bail him out, and Stressor trying to run him down. Flay will get the trade immediate. It's a 4K from Kloxu that finally breaks through for Venom's first full buy round.
Massive. He's not had a day today. If it wasn't for Innocent stealing the show, we'd be talking a lot more about Kloxu during this series. He has been fabulous. And just as this game is starting to slip a little bit too far towards Sin as he puts his foot down. Now we get into round 8. Sinners, goodbye here, but that money is starting to dwindle now, so I'd love to get around on the board here, stave off any potential ecos. Slow default from Venom. Opted to give mid. They've given B control. Now they're going back in for said space. Also, he's beginning to clear. Mid soon will follow suit. The smokes start to fade. So there's a little bit of time burnt by these CTs. But outside of this A tunnels control, no advanced positions.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if Beastic was going to stay steadfast that whole time. Him and Sobel were kind of caught in a deadlock. But now they decided to jump the gun. Beastic's happy that he's got this deep A main control. Timing for kisserek. Oh, he'll overpower and he'll catch Kloxu at an inopportune time. No ability to swing out for the trade via Innocent.
That was mad, by the way. They knew Strasarin seen nothing mid. Beastic is aggressive on A. Join the dots, guys, and it was pretty much a certainty that there were multiple members for Venom on B. And kisserek just swings straight into them.
Yeah.
So confident. They need to kill Beastic instantly here, don't they? Beastic finds.
Too strong.
Surely they're never looking this direction when they're going in. Beastic finds the first. It's awkward, but the trade is there. Teammate is fairly nearby. That's Strasarin behind the site, and this smoke is so annoying. Forces players to loop in and around it. Play is dispatched. And Sinners hold firm. 4 players alive as well, and kisserek again is the hero.
Yeah, this timing that he takes is abhorrent, because not only, like you said, try and piece the picture together there from the Sinner side, they should have understood it was a B play. Kisserek catches them just as they're transitioning for a B hit, and because he does that, it sends Venom packing the other direction. They recognize that lane's been fully cleared, and that mid is also a complete vulnerability. They didn't want to take the risk, only to fall into a different trap. So first time out here for Venom, trying to figure out how they actually get a crack in. Did Beastic start there? Or did he pivot after there was a lack of pressure on A? That is also the thing with Ancient, is that as much as fighting for mid control is kind of falling more and more out of meta, if you can't pressure the extremities, if you can't force them to play more towards these sites, then you lose out on a heavy rotate position. So it will be a simple exec here from Venom. Flashes do well on the second flurry. Shock caught by them, but kisserek's out swinging for 2, and Shock able to stabilize back with another kill, all while Strasarin's there for the cleanup. It is an open and shut case here on B. The Sinners 7-2 lead.
Kisserek's an absolute hero. 12-4. Venom go back to an early B hit. They've shown a few of those during this half. To varied success, but certainly has worked previously. This time, kisserek mounts a monster defense. That is Sinners up to 7. Not much going here for Venom. Had they not got reset following the pistol round, this could be quite a close scoreline, but that is modern Counter-Strike. Can't afford to lose rounds like those. And they, of course, did. Kisserek, again, is a menace. So eager to be aggressive. And he finds another. This young man is in very fine form at the moment. And this is an absolute cleanup onto mid. Venom's falling apart.
They cannot stop kisserek from getting multi-kills. I mean, what is that now? 4? 4? Maybe 5 multi-kills he's had. 14 and 5. Still 2 more rounds to play here on this CT side. And it's not like his teammates are lagging behind. You know, Beastic has been in good position. Strasarin has done well. You know, we're not seeing these deficits that maybe plague them on Mirage. That's instead happening to Venom. And that's also part of the conversation around having your in-game leader be your best performer out of that first map. It's good if it keeps up. But if other players don't step into that place, these things can get very touch and go. Flay had a nice spin around. Kloxu got 4 kills on the 1 gun round that Venom have been able to accrue for themselves. They haven't really gone too much outside of that. Innocent's also getting brutalized in some of these opening fights.
Throwing a lot into this investment. Have Venom. So many flashes. So many. Barely see anything. B-Stick collects too. When you got B-Stick and kisserek tasked as the main player, locking down B and mid. There's not a lot going here for Venom. Where was this Sinners at times on the first map? They are a team possessed at the moment. 15 kills for kisserek. He's undeniable at the moment.
Yeah, even when they don't go B, he's a problem. That's a lot by virtue of how willing he is, how confident he has been on these swings out from Cheetah. This is looking like a fairly irredeemable round. Flay is currently tucked inside of T-Spawn, guarding his AK. And Sobel's gone fishing. Well, that'll be it. Flay will save. This is 9 rounds here for the Sinners on CT. More akin to what we were expecting, I think. Maybe more for the Mirage than the Ancient. This is not a map that is, trying to paint the picture that, Venom have made this their bread and butter. It's true. The Sinners are still potent on Ancient as well. I was expecting a bit of a back and forth. That just hasn't been the case whatsoever. They should... To be honest, I am surprised Shock doesn't just run at Flay there. He's got more than enough money. It would have been devastating if he found that rifle.
12th and final of this first half. And Venom are scrambling. 3 would be pretty slim consolation, but at least it's something to play with. 2 to 10 would be near insurmountable. Okay. They need to stay calm. Plotsu, again, braves Util. They've hit him so many times with nadage. Flay is plucked because he's jumping around. And yet again, Venom lose an early number. The good news is for this round, at least, they have got some space in mid, but this needs to pay dividends. They need to fry kisserek. Huffer tucked in the corner. Smoke goes behind him. You see, totally unexpected. But Shock is there for the trade critically. In the meanwhile, getting all this space on the B-bomb site. Innocent plant, and that plant noise distracts. Sobel doesn't fully clear. Oh my lord. That could fully change the course of this round. But equally, why would they ever expect somebody to be in cave, given they have a teammate so nearby? Now Pepper goes back and he misses the shot. Oh, what a catastrophe.
Oh, dear.
Well, thank goodness for Sinner's sake. They've got so many other rounds in this half because this one is a bit of a collapse. Venom will close this round out. There just isn't the time. It will be free. And Sobel isn't quite aware of how lucky a boy he is. 3 on the board. Is that going to be enough? We'll find out soon.
Welcome back to the second map between Sinners and Venom here in the upper bracket of the ESL Challenger League Season 50 Cup number 4. Sinners with a 9-3 CT side, putting their foot down as Venom stole Sinners map pick in Mirage. Sinners hope to do the same here on Ancient, and it's a brawl immediately in this pistol out for middle, and it is a slaughter in favor of Sinners. 4-1 on the kills. Sobol left wanting. He's got a kid and a smoke, but that's about all that he can be happy about.
Wondering where his teammates have gone. Yeah, it would take huge errors from the T side to get into this round. Don't think it's going to happen. So spread out in this after plant, so we certainly expect Sinners to be up on 10 in no time. Sobol, he's just going to save his kit and his smoke by the looks of it. And his Sinners up to 10 now, guaranteed. Well, it wasn't a total necessity that Venom wins the pistol, but they do need to win this force buy. They simply have to get this half off to a good start economically, because they are a long way down. Sobol can't save in the end. And I'd be pretty stunned now if they didn't force buy.
I was about to make a case that they could get their first gun round out. Sure, they'd be, limited on utility if they just concede the 11th, but why should I expect anything other than a force buy? That's my mistake. We've seen so many of them in this season of ESL Challenger League be successful. Why not give it a good old swing?
Here we go. Flay with the first kill. He is traded. So Dashia hopefully gets killed. Flay's still alive. You're going to go for a double pump here. And Flay collects another. There's a lot going on elsewhere at the same time. Push out a window. Doesn't get anywhere. Flay goes looking. Does find shock in the end, but that's information. And an ace now required. Surely he can find a better gun on the ground somewhere. There's so many bodies. Still in the MP9.
I think he's just trying to beat them to this A bomb site. I think he's very suspicious of the fact that they could have had B in theory, and if they were at B, they should have planted by now. So gambles towards that A bomb site, clearing to main. He needs to get the drop on them somehow, but he's now pushing all the way through main and seeing a whole lot of nothing. Thing is, they could just wrap to that A bomb site, and that seems to be exactly where they're headed. So, right idea at first here for Flay, but he seems to have the wrong read on the situation at the moment. But he's actually coming back.
Yeah, I'm pretty stunned by this.
If he gets B-Stick, that's a free kill, and Peppo will not really guard properly. Plant is down, but there's B-Stick's head offered up. Full ace clutch for Flay, not able to convert. The wide swing there from Peppo had a massive health advantage. Sinner surviving on one, but they battled past that force buy.
Venom will buy again. Pretty confident of that. They recognize that Anika doesn't make any sense here. Flay's in a glass cannon. He got so many MP9 kills that he's managed to AWP in this round. Well, that could be unexpected, but this is not an easy map to navigate all the nades. Not an easy map if you get into an afterplant. And where is he? He's towards A. Like the long lines onto those A tunnels, so see if he can be a factor.
Even if you calculated that Flay could get this AWP, the fact
I don't
that
think you'd expect it
for it. Yeah, he could have gone for a rifle and full nades.
Of course, given his position as well, he's not going to show this AWP till pretty late in the round at the rate we're going. Okay, so we're going to go for a bit of an A, B lean even. Kisserek's got a lot of room here in towards the cave. I'm not sure they're aware that he's so far advanced. Jump spot there will reveal all. Hopper goes a bit of a peek out of Donut and meets his demise. Kisserek now begins to press the issue. And Venom are just falling apart in this round. Flay does find a kill, but there's no way on earth they're going to continue pressing in that direction. They're going to allow kisserek to start making moves. Sobel pushes the B ramp, and he simply has to win these engagements or this round will fall apart very quickly. He cannot get his aim true. Innocent Flay with a tremendous amount to do here. Smoke takes Flay out of the game. Repositions. Actually, the bomb is out in the open. Why have they dropped the bomb? Should have been down already at this point. Innocent finds another, and a lifeline handed the way of Venom. This round should have been done and dusted. Bomb got lost in the source. Leaves Shock, and a triple for Innocent in what has been a pretty dire map for him. Wow, I can't believe Sinners let that one slip.
Yeah, that's absurd. They think that they've got all this open runway. They don't get contact out from long. Innocent's tucked, waiting for them to cross into the site itself, and they throw the bomb over instead of going and committing bodies into the site. But good recognition from Venom. As soon as Flay got that kill to main, darted to that B bomb site, knew they wouldn't want to proceed into that surprise AWP. But the Sinners started that round out so well. They found themselves in a 5-on-3 advantage. And they lose the 2-on-4.
I'm pretty amazed the Sinners haven't fully forced. This is a mistake. This is a mistake. They lose this round without a plant, which is quite likely. Their money will be all over the shop in following rounds. Venom had to win a force buy. Simply had to win one to get into this half, and they've done just that. Stressarin, though, wants something to say about it. Sobel needs to find this frag very quickly. It's an unarmored Glock, so he makes mincemeat of that in the end. And now the rotations in nearby. Flay is starting to really warm up into this CT side. He's dispatched, though. Foxy, though, holds firm.
Wait, Stressarin's on for a full ace clutch if he pulls this off. He's got 3 headshots on this AK. He's the only one who bought, but Innocent seems to be the problem man when it comes to CT side. A 3K, and what's that Stressarin clutch attempt to rest?
I did warn you that their money would be weird. And
yeah,
it's happened.
It definitely is.
They also, hindsight's 2020, but they win that round with a full investment, don't they? If Stressarin's playing like that, if Stressarin's finding his kills and he's got teammates with nades and, you know, Mac 10s or Deagles or whatever,
yeah,
probably convert that. Now they're left in this odd position where Shock is the sole AK. Util's pretty good. They will dwindle quite fast because they're using a lot to default. So opportunities here for Venom against a little bit lesser investment to get stuff done. Stressarin dealt with. Buffer's very low. Happy he wasn't facing an AK in that duel for sure. And now questions of Sinners. Can they turn this around? Look at the information play on B. 2-man pushdown is totally catching the T side off guard. Pretty amazed that Pepper even managed to pivot in time for that one, but Innocent is here. He's looking a bit more comfortable now on the CT side, isn't he?
Yeah, off-timing swing there from Innocent. Allowed his teammate to go down, but added that extra element of surprise to his following peak. And while his information plays on B, there's information gathered on A as that attention is drawn towards B lane. Bomb now re-recovered here by kisserek. But this map is shrinking. It's only Shock that keeps his eyes peeled for an approach out from elbow, but he'll slink himself away, and the Sinners are in a precarious position, but kisserek and Shock have not had shy games. As soon as that smoke fades, they get a chance. Hafa's head offered up. He was the low health player on the site, and Innocent is still committed in, but it's an instant headshot from the in-game leader. Shock to respond in kind. And while Sobel comes in on that flank, Flay just has to make sure that there are no surprises here on this site. HE goes amiss, but here's Sobel on the backstab, and Shock just simply will not be ready. All attention's drawn to long and short. And so Venom will keep this little streak going. They get their hands on a 6th round here on this defense. Sinners right now can't break past 11.
Flay's warming up.
He needs some help there, doesn't he? He's got double the kills of any teammates right now. That is obviously not a sustainable statistic. Cloku was monstrous on the first map. Innocent, of course, pretty dire T-side, but got time to turn this around. Huffer's in important positions, this map included, so expecting him to get some work done as well. Towards Donor he goes. It is a half buy produced by Sinners. Buy a little bit more aggressively here with the plant in the previous. And what are they doing? They're faking B. Could be a full contact play here. B-Stick in first. Sobel dispatches of that molly. B-Stick swings in and actually finds the kill. Wow, that's incredible. Finds the kill before he goes down. There's a lot of moving parts here. There's a lurker into the red room. Innocent has got to capitalize, and he does. That could have got very ugly if kisserek bisected the defense. So bomb is planted, but map control favors Venom very heavily right now. Sinners have got to win fights in a direction here. Probably in towards Temple. But they're just allowing so much room for maneuvering, and these guys are going to get pinched. Surely Stressor on is dispatched. And Venom, keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, tight angle being held there from Flay as well. On the retake, it was a lightning fast shot there from Stressarn that had me a little worried. Seen some nice shooting from Stressarn. Put some emphasis on him coming into this map, given his, well, real absence outside of a couple of T-side rounds on Mirage. He joins a lot of the heavy hitters at the top of the leaderboard here for Sinners. Venom have to be extra careful about how they approach these rounds. They are collecting them quite quickly. All it takes is a simple mistake, and the Sinners could break through and force us into a decider. Vicious here from afar, has teammates to cover his back, and Sobel will clean up inside of middle, but it's a heavy commitment to this mid presence. With Flay still holding inside of spawn, Innocent cannot pull out util. He was the last hope that they had to keep hold of this B site. Clocksu's completely peeled out, and the deep util of these T's makes it so difficult to retake.
They're going in. Look at that. Straight through the deep smoke. Need to deal with this man quickly. That is kisserek. Easier said than done. Good trade. Peppo's low. B-Stick tagged up a little as well. What have we got? Player behind the pillar. Just about flushed wide, but Shock has found a little bit of a dime to stand on here. Awkward exchange leaves just B-Stick, and Flay knows where to look. Another big retake, and time enough. We most certainly have a game on our hands now.
Oh, you couldn't ask for anything more. A man advantage in the after plant, deep position. A serious threat there for the Venom retake. But they just run straight through that smoke, and there's no one on the side of the Sinners available to punish. It was only kisserek that challenged from long.
He needed some help, didn't he? Even one flash behind him would have been game-changing. But kind of felt like, how did we had one player ninja and one player pillar. That feels like a bit overkill. Why not spread out more once the planter puts it down? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Could have done a little bit more, I think, in that after plants. Pause then for Sinners as they discuss. In fact, we saw a pause, I believe, the same scoreline from Venom on map 1. Because Sinners are starting to realise that these gun rounds now are worth their weight in gold. They're going to go fast out mid, so no allowing a pinch early, and kisserek continued his reign of terror. 23 kills for him. And now Venom with some work to do. They want to stave off map point.
Ooh. Kisserek's so low, but all that spam just sails right by his shoulders, past his ears. None of it connects. So he'll be lucky that he stayed alive. This deep position from Stressarn could also prove to be problematic. Him holding onto Red Room as they apply pressure on B. He can siphon the rotate. Does just come down to timing.
Flay does molly into Red Room, so he's certainly aware that mid is fully seeded, and with this information from Sobel, There is a good stack going. Still, that mid presence could prove very difficult to deal with, even in spite of this stack. But kind of regardless of that, the left players loaded up. This, though, is a fake, isn't it? Beestick is alone. The bomb is heading elsewhere. Sobel is calling to his teammates that he can't see anything going on, but they'll realize the gig is up soon. Beestick gets caught. So it is even numbers, but these CTs have a lot of rerouting to do to get lined up for a retake. What is going on there in the red room? Cloxu, I thought he'd looked away at the inopportune time. No, he's actually the player that catches Stressarin looking elsewhere. Molly goes into Donut. And the main prong here is coming from CT. Cloxu dispatched by the HE. The player kisserek still by the bomb. Surely he's not expected. He is not. But the trades are quite good. Sobel with an opportunity then to put this game to bed, and he gets it done. Look at that. Massive afterplant. Gets Venom up to 9. They keep it going.
And Shock dared to challenge before the util came down. Full belt there for Sobel. He actually had a lot of options. Could have even gotten a Molotov down, make it more difficult, but Shock wanted to trust in his aim, and it lets him down. Sobel's clutch. Yeah, it keeps this fueled. 2 rounds shy of tying things up. This was a 9-3 start after a successful CT side from Sinners. They've only gotten 2 rounds. They won the pistol.
It was 9-2 at one point in this map. kisserek continues to cause problems. He got an entry in the previous round. Obviously, that wasn't converted, but this one, I think this one is stronger. And he tags Cloxu down to 10 HP. kisserek has absolutely done his job, and look at the mini-map. There's nobody in defensive A. Venom are focused elsewhere. They're dealing with it yet again. It's a very similar round to the previous, where they cede all this A space, but seemingly find so many frags elsewhere. That is a critical frag from Shock. There's a lot of damage in the meanwhile. Nade doesn't do the job onto him. Almost did, but not quite. And there's a massive flank developing from kisserek. Flay is holding behind for the moment, but this flank, he needs to run, doesn't he? His teammate is hella isolated in towards Donut. And Flay continues to hold. Will the timing be with him? Yes, it is. He's held so long. There was only about 15 seconds left on this bomb. He was still holding the flank. I guess they knew kisserek was around there last. And another critical retake to keep Venom in this map.
How has this happened again? Sinners find the gap. They exploit that A bomb site. They get the kill they need to. Shock surviving past that HE on 2 health. They couldn't have asked for better saving graces. But the awareness on Flay. Not only was he conscious of the fact they could have crept out A, he just missed that timing by a fraction of a second. But then just dialed in to that late kisserek flank. It's a pace change here from the Sinners. These late rounds have been too many layers of complexity. It's been difficult. Stressarin finding that opener inside of middle. And this will put some added strain here to Venom. They have so long to play out. A man down.
As good as these retakes have been for Venom, man, they need to stop giving up the opening kill, don't they? They're making their lives so difficult. This round, Sinner's going to keep it simple, and I think this one looks the best of any. They're all together. There's no extremities players. No messing around. No chance for Venom to find frags easily before this bomb gets put down. There is no smoke out this side, but surely Sinners are trained with numbers in this direction. Need some more flashes if these players want to swing on the CT side. A 4v5 retake. You certainly wouldn't favour them in this position. In Innocent goes. And the trades are very good for this T side now. Nadich going on towards the cave, but numbers are starting to dwindle. Flay falls by the wayside. And Sinners finally get around over the line.
Yeah. This time, all it really felt like they did was simplify. Get an opening kill, group themselves up, and hit that B bomb site. There was no resistance out from Venom to prevent that plant. You know, the meta has really become, even if you are going to play retake on that B site, keeping incendiaries, HEs, things that you can harass the T side with so that their smokes fade, so that they never feel comfortable enough to set up in an after plant. That was simply not the case. Peppo getting naded to high health. 3 HEs chase him down at elbow as he touched the flames, and Klotsu's also gotten his kill over at B. And that's where the bomb is sat outside of. So they do better than not to give up an opening kill. They find 2 for themselves.
Absolutely. And we certainly don't favour Sinners in this sort of position now. Venom have proven that late round they are quite capable of making magic happen. Well, I should also translate into closing out man advantages. Sobel, secondary orb, deep line. It's quite unlikely as well that these terrorist players will go in with any util. They'll want to have the element of surprise. They'll want to get as close as they can before revealing. Huff is telling his teammate that there's nothing really going on in mid. There's no way anybody's in towards the red room. You need to stay true. Keep your gun out. Boost, though. Let's allow some advancement. That molly has gone astray, unfortunately. And all these CTs really need to do is just buy a bit of time for rotations.
Okay.
Not needed. Not needed. Absolute clinic. Huffer with the 4. And Venom now a few frags away from overtime.
All he need do is delay, but decides he didn't just want to sit on that 1 kill he started the round with. Moved in for a full quad. 4 kills from HFA in defense of that A bomb site. Got 1 at the start of the round, but the triple will go nicely. Joins the rest of his team outside of Innocent at double digits. But this goes the full distance. 24 rounds of play. Sinners are hoping that it ends in regulation, because should this slip into the overtime, they've had difficulties on this T side. Flay just continues to do damage. HE and the kill over to Ramp. And they may not be done with it yet. Klotsu seemed like he was really antsy about getting down that ramp. But having that man advantage, they play inside of sights.
I think these CTs have learned their lesson with the amount of pressure kisserek has been applying up the ramp. There was so much util going down early. They were so trained on ramp. Nest them an opening kill. They're quite happy as well to play a passive stance mid, passive stance on A. Huffer's doing a lot of work, to be honest, with the way Sobel's playing mid, but it doesn't really matter. And Flay with the lineup. Overtime looks like destiny now, as Flay drops 2 birds with that 1 stone. B-Stick and Shock now left to look at each other. Surely they're not clearing Sobel. Such an orthodox position. B-Stick does actually look this way. That's quite incredible, but Sobel still wins the duel. That is ridiculous. And now it's just Shock. He does have the bomb, but this is a hell of a lot of work to do. Sobel with the off-angle. Shock, I think he's caught a shoulder. Sobel will do his damnedest just to stay alive at the moment. Bomb runs onto the A-bomb site, but surely the noose is going to surround. And Titan Flay finishes the job. Another quad kill from a Venom player. They've done the impossible. 2-9 to overtime.
This is hardly ideal for the Sinners. Trailing a map in this series already. A significant lead that is squandered. Moving into the second half of this map. We move into this overtime into a rearing hot Flay on this AWP. Felt like he was alone in his efforts. But suddenly the other members of Venom start to activate. We get more out of Klotsu, Sobel, Innocent, HFA. Everyone is firing here on CT. Sinners are struggling to get a break.
Such a reset button, isn't it, overtime? It's hard to believe Venom will be quite so poor when they get their chance on the T side now. So Sinners have got their work cut out. If I'm kisserek, I'm looking at my teammates and saying, what else do you want? I gave you so many opening kills. I was such a nuisance towards that B portion of the map. Let's hope for Sinner's sake that he can retain his high level of form into this overtime. Util again is pretty good onto these B players, but Strassarian gets a good gap. That in front of the smokes. Huffer dispatch. Klotsu
does catch Beastie in and around the cave. So, whoa, okay. This is getting a bit rowdy now.
Yeah, deep HE and then just one bullet into the smoke. He connects, but Innocent is trailing right behind. He's just gambled the wrong direction. Mid heavily occupied, didn't want to brave it through the smoke. While kisserek dismounts, he now pulls his attention over to elbow, and he'll catch Sobol lurking through main to catch a timing on a flank. But Innocent hopes to do the same. In from deep T-spawn. Flay is inside of A main already. And he hears this heavy presence out from Donut. This AWP is the only thing that can stop them, but the flashes are good, and so Peppo can hold the line. And it's only Innocent that remains. 9 and 17 may have come up clutch, time in, time out on Mirage, but a 1-on-4 he has not pulled through on as of yet. And Shock will have him. First round, as is poetically sealed, into the overtime as Sinners struggle to get 13 in regulation. They break through with the first as we look forward to more rounds.
It's got to be said, Sinners adding that round onto regulation, they are winning a lot of fights early coming out of mid. That is not the problem for them. It's late rounds. And Venom have got to change something. They can't afford to keep losing numbers early like that. What is the move this time? Oh, lots of early util. Opportunity for Peppo, but no frag found. Flay decides, no sir, I think I'll rotate out of there. And he drops back to B instead.
Yeah, Venom almost gave a chance over to the AWP. They have been consistently throwing the instant smoke and the HEs to follow. Good nade from kisserek. But they've had troubles dealing with this AWP of Flay. Flick back's not going to connect. Not going to be a collateral this time over. Beastic tries to run him down, but scope or not, Flay hits his shot. 2 inside of cave, and that B attack, that nuisance that kisserek has perpetually been, has been dealt with.
What a turnaround.
Lurk either.
It's another round as well, by the way, where kisserek does more than you'd ever expect. He just picked into 2 players and does actually find the kill on the first. Beastic just unable to trade. And Sinners, there's obviously no saving really in overtime, so they'll continue to try and press the issue. There is a gap for Peppo in the red room through mid. Seem to be kind of aware. Yeah. This is their only route into a round. Looks like Sobel's holding behind himself, so certainly where it's a possibility. That was a little bit awkward, but the frag found all the same, and I was just Shock. So much work to do here. Innocent had already shown his position, so he was happy to give away more noise cues. Flay is dispatched. There could be something to this. Shock finds another. A fabulous attempt, but no cigar. 13 for Venom.
How dare he make that so close? After this from Flay, the systematic picking apart of this T side, the stretch default of Sinners. And then Shock almost comes in with a 1v4. But almost doesn't cut it. We're not talking about economic damage here in overtime. Rounds are the only currency that Venom are willing to trade in, and they've got a tie game.
Mid again seeded. I think this is the right move for Venom. They are better when they seed mid and just keep players alive and allowed to make these reactions. That was a B ramp push. The next kill on Trasarin. Got a heavy hitter as well, dispatched.
It's just so exhaustive. They use 4 smokes just to simply get themselves into mid. So they have nothing to cover their approach into a bomb site. The bomb has yet to make the journey, and it will have to go through treacherous waters He could walk straight into this ult, but Flay, if he's not careful, thinks about deploying the Molotov. Flay peers out forward, but he misses his shot. And Beestick is high priority target number 1. Shock goes back to protect the VIP. And they're cutting the rotates. Deep in spawn, there's kisserek, and he is an absolute monster. 3 kills in this round. Not only the first to barrel out in through middle, but did so much work there late. Sinners get 2 on their T side.
Do you want to know the slightly evil thought that's occupying my mind at the moment? That thought is, how good would Venom be if they still had kisserek? They would be so good.
I'm sure they're looking over on the scoreboard and thinking, why couldn't he have stayed?
It would have been, I mean, him and Flay, if they were on the same team on this map, it'd be a bit unreal. There's no way it would have gone to overtime. Okay, so Venom, around 2 the lesser. Remember, guys, T sides for both teams in regulation was the problem. So Sinners have a big advantage here right now. Pressure on Venom to find gun rounds where they really struggled. Half an hour, 45 minutes to go. They're going to make this work. And they're quite intent to play slow, that is for certain at the moment.
Hoping for more out of Venom from this T side. They were having struggles on their gun rounds. Sinners got themselves into, I'd say, more winning positions on that T side than Venom ever did, even if they were squandered. Good Molotov clear onto Shock. His escape is not guaranteed. Clocksu does enough just on his retreat. H4's found his kill in mid. So there's a gap to red, but they're aware that he's in there only for Stressarn in chasing that kill to get backstabbed. So a 5-on-2. As good as kisserek has been, surely there's no way out of this one.
I'm a bit bamboozled by what happened to Shock there, I'm not going to lie. It's kind of the absolute standard take of Cave, and he pretty much dies to that Molotov. So, not really sure what the plan was.
This can still get weird. They know kisserek's a B player. They've planted on that B bomb site. There is no one dedicated to ramp, and there are still 2 players fishing for information in red, but Flay is very aware.
They smelled a trap. They smelled a trap.
Yeah. These 2 Polish behemoths battling it out back and forth. Traveled from Poland to Finland to Shanghai to America. Once upon a time on teams together are just going blow for blow in the server.
I like this Nemesis arc. It's good.
Revenge.
I need some graphics. I need some content. Kisserek's hatred of Flay. I'm sure that's what's going on here. Inspiring into such performances. Nonetheless, a very important round as far as Venom are concerned. They do not enjoy this T side, or at least they haven't as far as this game so far has been concerned. And Sobel finds another. That's towards A. Beestick is dealt with. That will cause real problems for this CT side because they don't have a lot of information. kisserek, I think, is going to feel really compelled to take some fights because they need to get some room back. They need to understand what the T side is doing. Heppo still got his midline from Donut. But if they can remove that information from the CT side, I promise you they're going to have to start making moves.
Burden to bear. Being this man down and knowing that there's still time for Venom to plug away at either side of the map. Missed shot there from Peppo. He's under pressure. Has to smoke himself off away from that Molotov, but he's spotting no additional presence towards Donut. This 3B stack is in the right place. Smokes are down, and as noise is made retreating away from Cave, attention drawn away from Stressar, and there's the trade, but they barrel back and they fight vehemently out from ramp, and they succeed in every kill they need to collapse on B. There is no multi-kill to be found here for the Sinners.
As if it's the T side where Venom come alive. Oh, the crazy thing about this round is let's be real. They didn't really deny the mid information. Peppo had full sight lines there through Donut and could tell his teammates to stay 3B. And despite going into the numbers, helped, of course, by that early advantage, Venom getting over the line. Sobel's kill is massive to open up this round. Pep also needs to live, doesn't he? That's where the money's at.
Well, they should
probably
be able
will.
to afford yeah, they still be able to afford an AWP if they want it.
Oh, God.
But a player may be shortchanged. Peppo will not survive with that AWP.
What do you do? Do you drop a FAMAS?
Beastic has dropped that AWP over, and yeah, FAMAS in exchange.
That's a rough deal for Beastic.
Not exactly an even trade.
No. No, sir. I can't believe Venom's here. They finally got their series points. They are 1 round from the grand final. They definitely would be favourites, I think, going into the final if they can convert it in this fashion. They've had a tremendous day. Yeah, of course, they did suck for the first 10 rounds on this map, but they've been so great since then. What a turnaround.
Yeah, maybe Mirage was a little too easy. Didn't feel warm coming into Ancient, but the extra rounds, that CT side, reinvigorating them. And they have a big opportunity to close this in 2. Lest this go another overtime. But it is eerily quiet. No commitments to mid-floor. This is even late by Venom standards in pursuing the B-bomb site. Sinners don't make any active moves. Venom were maybe expecting some kind of a change-up. But they're still so spread. 45 seconds, they're trying to shift presence, draw attention, and they'll throw a Molotov into that B bomb site and look to reposition. This is a play for mid and A, but there's 2 in defense of it, and another one's en route. Kisserek is starting to drift over.
Pressure on B-Stick is enormous, though. Huge pressure. Unchecked immediately. Late trade sees B-Stick find 2 before he is dispatched. Peppo up next. And Kisserek's doing his job. This looks like it is second overtime. 1st to 19. It says it on the scoreboard. Kisserek, 34 kills. You can't ask for anything more than that.
Yeah, him and B-Stick getting double kills in that round when they need it the most. B-Stick shortchanged, had to make the trade with Peppo for an AWP. He was given a FAMAS and still able to get 2 in from the donut. Went uncleared, but sometimes positioning is all you need.
I still think Venom shouldn't be too disparaged. They still got 2 T rounds, which was pretty mighty, given how regulation went, so...
But does that claw at your brain thinking, can we do it again?
They got this. Come on. I'm all on the Venom train. They're so much fun. Eppo, given a chance. It's a tough shot. I blame him for that one. And Venom, they had 4 players in there with a 5th in Huffer a bit further back. They're forced to reroute, so mid is the next port of call. In they go.
This is a very different approach on this defense here from the Sinners. Kisserek was so active on that CT side once upon a time. It plays more timid as we enter this overtime. They're in through red, and that may be the angle they serve to exploit. B-Stick's coming back to try and address it.
Wow, they're going 4B.
Stresso's been jiggling this whole time, but B-Stick hears them approach out from red. This off angle once again from B-Stick is phenomenal, but there's HFA in with the trade. Peppo is now surrounded from both sides. They may just have to travel through that smoke if they want to try and protect him, provide some support. They do barrel in through CT, and that bomb is transitioning to the site. Kisserek's got his kill, and Stressarn will combine for another. That bomb is dropped in no man's land, 15 seconds, and Sobol has to try and clamber back for it. It's a fresh smoke, but out from Temple, Peppo could still provide some pressure. They opt to play the 4-on-2. They don't brave that smoke. And Sobol peppered up, but there's chances now for Venom to try and play for this after plant. Damage onto Clocksu.
No
the spam
way.
onto Stressarn to spawn is fantastic. It's on the money. Shock is still unmoving, not approaching in from Donut. It's these two players from Temple that have to get a move on. Kisserek already so low. And it all comes down to first bullet. Kisserek gets Clocksu out on the side, and it's Sobol tucked away at the back of it, but he's turned away. A headless chicken, head on a swivel, cannot find his next fight. Sinners battle back from bad position and get their hands on a CT round.
It looks so good, didn't it, for Venom? Just Peppo in defense of A. I was watching Flay because it was Flay with the bomb, and I was thinking, brother, you need to start running. Get that bomb on the side at all costs. He was a little bit too late to the party. He was fragged from behind.
Yeah, tried to hold for the play out from CT, but through that smoke, he did not win his fight.
No, maybe even questioned if he knew he had the bomb in that moment as well, or kind of blanked on that fact. Who knows? Here he's got a good spawn. He wanted to fight into K a bit early. It's a brave duel. While he holds him at bay for now. And Kisserek is forced out wide by his opponent's body. Flay would love a rifle there to go for the instant trade. Doesn't have one. And Kisserek just about gets out of dodge. He is a menace. The only word that can describe him right now.
Oh, Flay needed a kill back. Constant jiggles out from Stressarn inside of Donut. Will not be the opportunity that Venom were hoping for. Cool that Kisserek is still trying to mix up his activities inside of Cave. Doesn't want to be too predictable. Flay has found Stressarn in the end, just on a reposition out to spawn. They try and cover up that gap to Red Room once again.
They'll know that he's an A player as well. This is pretty much a slam dunk that they should hit A. They'll know that B-stick's normally Donut. They're all sides, so should have their wits about them. Flay's doing his damnedest just to sort of buy time, and Sinners have guessed wrong, haven't they? They've decided to hard commit to this free B setup. B-stick is the only man nearby, and actually...
Why would you plant?
Why would you plant in this position? I cannot believe it! It is ridiculous! And it nets them their deaths. The bomb goes down, but at one hell of a cost. Why plant in that position? Seems like a needless risk. I guess it's safe to Temple, but that wasn't the position you should have been scared of. And now problems. Two players in Donuts. There's a player coming from behind. That's Kisserek. And surely he's going to finish this job. Play is so low. Kisserek, another 3 kills from him. And that plant spot might have just put this series onto Nuke.
Yeah, I am at a loss for why they've done this. A blow on the smoke there for Beastic. He can't believe the feast that lay before him.
Why were they...
Kill, nice.
I don't get it. I mean, were they that scared of like a flash through Temple in the swing? They had Donut. They had... It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Unless they're worried about A main pressure, but...
It's also... It's like it's a shit plant where they had their players as well.
Innocent didn't even react to the smoke blowing open either. He had his back turned, just ducked away. It was a sitting duck in the end. Kisserek, aggressive, over to ramp, hits the dink. Innocent down to low HP. The tides have turned. That was the ugliest round so far, and there have been many on this T side here for Venom. Oh, but Flay, though, still hitting its mark. Shock, a wide angle, and Flay's not expecting that. Sat behind the flames.
Ooh. Oh. What Stressarn would have given for an AK there.
Even if a bullet from Shock had connected on the spam, that dink probably does clock Su in.
Beastic is a brave man committing to tree right now. He's got a very early flank if he wants it. Still, this will be a very difficult round, I think, for the CTs to piece together. Peppo continues to be scared of some sort of threat on A. He's going to leave Shock very much on his lonesome. Oh, peeks before the smoke and finds a second. Trade is decent from Sobel, but not before he loses two of his teammates, and that early flank now gets engaged. Beastic creeps and crawls and makes his move, and Clocksu is low. Nades are out. They have no idea Beastic is coming, and now it's on Sobel. He makes the one play he can and slips through the smoke. Do they have any idea this is a possibility? Surely they think deep in cave is the most likely. Sobel fires a shot. What is going on there? Peppu begins to stick, and Sobel comes through the smoke. It's very ugly. He needs to deny this, and he cannot. 18. Clean sweep for Sinners.
Yeah, looking like this is going to be pushed into that decider. Into Nuke. I think my brain had said Dust 2 earlier on, but yeah, we would be heading into that Nuke after the fact. Ancient after a Mirage, and then we start to have to fine comb through the tactics if Sinners will push us into that map. That's often a first pick priority for the Sinners. If they get to that decider, Venom could be in trouble. Sinners will have 3 opportunities to force us to that map. HFA, wide swing, Strassarin's already dealt with him. That's what Sinners were best at on this T side, finding openings inside of middle, and Innocent has also lost his life to the AWP. 5-on-3. This would have to be a hell of a play from Flay, or a massive fumble. Flay's got one back. But, okay, the shot from Strassarin is immaculate. Bomb is still dropped outside of B, so this is a little strange. Sinners are trying to put some pressure on the A site, try and draw them over and win by kills, and kisserek will deliver. He's on to 40 and looking for even more. Clocksu finally deals with him, but it's not as much pressure as they initially thought. A bomb site's a little too quiet.
There's a lot of moving parts here.
Yeah, they recognize that Clocksu has pulled himself away.
He's not going to expect this. This is the map.
Yeah.
Seals the deal. 19-15 for Sinners. Well, without a doubt, they did it the hard way. A win's a win, but that was one heck of a scare in a map where I don't think they ever expected to end up in overtime.
Yeah, whether or not it was Polish players performing or on the Sinners, Polish players performing. Kisserek with 40 kills in this map.
Yep, job done.
Put yourself through the stress again.
Job done. That said, I mean, in terms of like recent form, whoever wins this qualifier will have so much playtime. Recent to next week qualifier, so you'd certainly back them in that regard. That said, there were some good teams waiting in the wings, so you wait to get this nuke underway. Indeed we are. Life round looks to be done. CT side start for Sinners, and a bit of util across the board for them. Kisserek has the dualies. He is gonna no doubt play on top of Hut. There he is, waiting for contact.
Yeah, only an HE and a Molotov available here for the attack of Venom. They're just trying to distract towards that A bomb site. Shock pressured at ramp, though. Does decent damage, but will fall back and prioritize his life. He's looking to get swarmed, however, and Sobel slipping down into the vent. It's awkward. Kisserek still feet grounded, though. Gets the better of Sobel. Beastic gets his kills, too, in defense of that lower side, and Kisserek is here via that vent rotate. It's a tight noose being wrapped around the neck here of Venom as they cannot establish a firm plant. Flay hounding down this kill to ramp, but he lost his teammate on the site, and that's the bomb with it too. So it's a 1-on-2 that Flay now has to complete if Venom want this round.
That bomb is just in such an awful position. Flay to recover. Strassarin doesn't need to do much here. He just needs to hold out, play off the back of Kisserek. 35 seconds to go, and Flay is praying for some overfacing players. He seems to be convinced that kisserek is somewhere underneath the catwalk. Decoy's not going to do much to flush a player out. Shoulder shown every so often. kisserek just going to swing. Double peek. A little bit laboured, but frag is found all the same. Sinners on the board. And kisserek showing us exactly what he thinks about that.
Yeah, you don't play against an old teammate of yours for over 300 maps, travel the world with him, and not provide a little disrespect. Two kills for kisserek. Dealt with the vent lurk and finished off the job on B as well. So Sinners with that pistol. It's a force buy from Venom. We've seen this consistently throughout the series so far. It's been iffy. A little difficult, perhaps, to always convert these pistols into a little streak. It's glued to kisserek, but it's looking... I mean, that bomb is just sat outside of the ramp room. And they're hoping that they can burst into that position again. Shock will be under pressure. Flash in. Shock forced back, and they will try and drop into him again. And this time they will succeed in getting their kill. Shock did get away with one. Beestick already planting in the back of the site, and will reveal himself. Traded, though. And that's another rifle that can be retrieved for this after plant. 3-on-3.
Bit of a way off some of these CTs. He's taking down Huffer. He's partnering with him. kisserek.
Wow.
Julie's out. Finds his man. Flay. Here in control as his teammate in double doors. So, bit of a 1-2 punch around this area. They try to deny this retake. Sobel left alone with a lot of work to do. Too much to do. Sinners face a bit of a scare. They come out on top. 2 for them.
Yeah, good thing that Stressarn had that kit, because that time was grinding low. But kisserek, another double. 2 rounds, 2 multis. Not missing a beat at the start of this nuke. They must have had information on HFL outside, because the diligent clear there from kisserek to those secret steps was on the money. It's another force buy here for Venom.
Yeah, I don't blame him. They know the deal. Win this and it's a double eco. And check out, is that Beestick aggressive on outer? It is. He is a long way advanced of any help. kisserek is here towards main, trying to lend a hand, but his teammate is already dispatched. This is not good for Sinners. kisserek tucks here in garage. What can he find? Smokes have now dissipated. There's a player on top of Mini. There's another one rounding outside. That's Sobel. So if kisserek wants a flank, it will be hard to find. All the meanwhile, he's kind of telling his teammates, I'm not seeing much. I'm not hearing much. I don't think it's lower. Sees a player drop off the top of Mini. Another one's towards red. I think this probably even further confirmed. They think it's the top side move, but it's not. It's lower. There's so much room now claimed. Clocksu here with the plant. As long as they can hold off against this initial ramp engagement from the CT side, they do have good spots for the after plant. Sobel, though, is on a different planet. He's out towards lobby right now. He needs to get a move on and help his teammates.
Yeah, they know that there was a late lurker. There was another player outside, so this should be fairly detached, but they're waiting for kisserek to rendezvous with them. Flay still holding the left side of ramp and hits another tag. Stressarn down to 5 HP. Clocksu does combine for these 2 kills out from ramp, and while Stressarn gets a kill back, he will try and run to save, but on his health, I don't think there is any safety. There is no sanctuary. This bomb should take him down all the same.
We'll assume you're right.
Started well.
We'll assume you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, he did die. Yeah, he did. That's bad news economically as well. It was already going to be dire straits, but with that, I'm not sure we'll see any rifles coming out. They will force buy. Their loss bonus is only 1900, so had they saved, it was still whatever, A1S body armor or FAMAS. It's never going to look good, so they're going to opt instead to force up now, try and get an early reset back in tow. but advantage absolutely towards Venom. What have they got for us here?
Well, seems like an aggro move is planned. Close hut, close to ramp. They jump through the ramp smoke. There's 3 Ts inside of lobby, waiting to address that issue. Sinners don't continue to pursue it. Good blocking smoke there from kisserek. Right at the doors as they throw a lurk smoke themselves. So a bit of a stalemate. Some damage done to Clocksu. In fact, he's continually peppered.
Slow and steady. They'll need to get a move on soon. There's nobody really ramp for this CT side. They're leaning elsewhere. Rotations come down the vents soon enough, but they're a little bit out of position. Alpha continues to be a menace towards outside as well. Slows down any moves down secrets. So there are a couple players lower, but I think Venom should be pretty well dug into their trenches by now. Fortified positions. Looks like Sinners, if they can, will try and save what they can for another bite of the apple in the next.
Yeah, things are not looking good so far for Sinners in these rounds. Ramp targeted multiple times over. HFA getting his way with these lurk timings on outside as well. That's both extremities that are struggling in the initial phases here on this Sinners defense.
Terrorists win.
And that's great news if you're a fan of the polls. Tie things up 2-2. May have lost the pistol and the conversion round, but these unrelenting force buys, they find a crack. They have put the money down here for the Sinners, even if they retain some weapons over from that previous round. So it shouldn't be too deep a commitment resource-wise. A little surprising to me that Peppo's the one that, sure, he saved the AK, but given the game that kisserek has been having, or the aggression that Stress Arm can offer, why Peppo on the rifle? Maybe he can get something done outside. Who knows? Maybe these big pieces on the Sinners don't need premium weaponry. This will be another slow progress round here for Venom. Good Molotov inside of hut displaces kisserek, but it's ramp again that's targeted, and it's vacant again. HFA's gotten his kill outside, all the meanwhile really milking out the round. And sure, there's a rotate down to this lower side, but the hold will have to be significant. Once again, it feels like Venom are just going to get free runway into a B plant.
It's Groundhog Day here, isn't it? Pretty much a carbon copy. Peppo might as well save this AK. It is of value. The other two, it's pretty much worth it if they can take down at least a gun, I would say. So they'll stick around for now.
Stress Arm does have a kit. If his teammate dies, if Stress Arm... They could have tried to dive this defuse, but they don't have a smoke, so it would have been difficult to pull the wool over their eyes. I think they were hoping that Venom would exit safely, and that kit defuse maybe could happen. But not to be.
Guns out again. No warp for Peppo here. But elsewhere, pretty good buy. So not too much to complain about. We get into round 6. Here in the third and final, in this upper bracket final. Venom bit of a run now. See what they want to present in this gun round. Early smokes dispatched. Few heading towards outer. They got a smoke by the vent as well. 4 smokes dispersed already as they're trying to sell an early move down secret. I'm not sure how convinced this CT side's going to be. They've just broken one of these smokes, seen nothing. They've heard nothing. There's no molly onto Secret. But does it really matter if Sobel can just run in and generate space himself? He's down the vent. And surely this causes haywire on the CT side. This is a nightmare. How do you rotate now?
There hasn't actually been a reaction from the Sinners at all. Peppo's still clearing things over towards Trophy, and Shock is right behind him. Neither looks to address Sobel that has made his way down to lower. So I'm not totally convinced that they're aware. Shock does look like he's turning about to face now. Sobel went fishing for a kill towards Secret. They're still stalled inside of lobby.
They've just got so much of the map to cover is their problem, isn't it? They're literally looking everywhere. Every position is being considered. They have dropped a second player lower, but I think this is the wrong move. The bomb is still towards Squeaky. Strassaren towards ramp at the moment. More util coming on the inside, and this could become a save rather quickly. Beastic does find one, but there is so long for these Ts to get bedded into their positions. Do Sinners feel like giving this a crack? Beastic has to wait. He can't be the main prong. It's got to be from heaven. What do we got? Flashbang, Molotov, grenade. Oh, that is beefy. Straight onto their scalps. Will they go? Yes, they do. Flash comes in, but these guns could be getting thrown to the wall. Sobel called upon, and he is traded. Somehow we're in a 2v1 scenario, and they indeed find the frags. Is there a kit? Yes, there is on Shock. Is there time? It's close, but I think he's got it. What a retake.
There was a very good argument to try and go to save that. A lack of proper position to get that incendiary down to properly displace. They get outpositioned again. How could you not feel like that B bomb site was going to be targeted when it's been the apple of the eye of Venom on this T side so far, especially with Sobel down lower? And even with them getting hoodwinked positionally, they claw back and they get that retake under their belt. Necessary for the Sinners. They've been exploited on some of the gambled rotates and some of the changing in positions. This time it's Shock that will take a spot over towards the secret steps, but Venom have been playing a very slow and tempered game. No signs of changing of pace as of yet. Smoke's outside late. Well, that smoke will be blown open. This has frequently been occupied by simply one man in HFA. This will be far more committed this time over from the Ts. They will make it to those secret steps. It's an early deployment on the smoke from Shock. But Shock's kind of the only one that can react to this. Peppo can make a rotate, but at the moment is still staying topside. That's a beauty. And just by keeping himself alive, he can allow more time in for Peppo. Shock doubles up, and that AWP is trained on the line. Peppo gets them before they break the site. And with 15 seconds left, they do need to punch in those digits. Flay has to get into a safe enough position, and he will tuck himself towards the backside, but Sobel's dead. That was the only reinforcements he had, and he has absolutely nowhere to go. Has to battle back with this AWP, but he took a dink, and that nade will finish the job. 3 alive here for the Sinners. They plug up the gap, and that's courtesy of Shock's hold on B.
Absolutely. First shot was an absolute clinic. Second kill was pretty beastly considering how quickly he was getting surrounded. Also quite stunned the kisserek was still holding for a lurk that late into the round. So Sinners not letting go here. Now it's them to kind of re-establish some control as we get into the mid portions of this first half. It's going to be a half buy from Venom. 5 Tech 9s. Lots of util. They need to put it down correctly if they want to root into this round. They're going to send Huffer out, and it's going to be an inside pop elsewhere. Huffer does collect. B-Stick is gone, but there's a lot of players still inside. The bomb is down the vent. Okay. The bomb is down, but nobody else is. We're about to have a B-site afterplan where there is one player on the bottom side of the map. Huffer continues to lurk and catches Shock on the move. Peppo's ready and waiting, knowing his teammate just fell from that position. But these T's need to get a move on. There's only one man covering the bomb.
This is crazy.
I've rarely seen a round like this. Innocent continues to press towards heaven. Peppo's still here. Innocent buys time, the drive-by headshots. Rasarin, at least somebody's going for the bomb, and Sobel continues to find frags. Wow. Watch 100 games of Nuke, and you won't see a round like that.
This was full chaos. No one had any clue what was happening. And had they known, had they simply realized that if they had dove those vents fast, if they had tried to break into that B bomb site on that retake quick, all they would have to have dealt with was Sobol. Instead, they're getting caught on flanks. There's players hidden behind smokes. They're slow on the rotate, expecting that vent to be covered off. And by the time they do make it down the vent, it's the planter that's covering the vent of all things.
I've watched so many of those rounds where one player gets down. They get the plant, but they've lost all of their teammates. That's what happens when you don't lose your teammates, and it's just absolute carnage.
Yeah.
Everyone tries to figure out what's going on. Kisserek here is traded, but not before finding one himself.
Yeah, that was a devastating round to lose. That was only the half buy of Venom that broke through with that, and it sets the economy back at the Sinners now.
This has definitely been the best series, I think, of this cup. It's really heating up now. There is no margin for error anymore. And Venom here, quite a sizable weaponry util advantage, all that jazz, of course. Even though the economy has slipped. Clocksu here continues to push with his teammates as they wrap the outside. So many players ramp. As long as they can navigate it up into heaven, a bomb site is pretty much open for business. Let's see where they choose to end. I would think it's probably A, given there's a player in and around main. And,
oh, if they go to ramp, this is bad. There's a player boosted, and yeah, Shock gets his kill at distance. Might have also spotted Stressarn, so that's maybe 2 players identified, but they drop the bomb into site, but they don't fully clear it. Oh my goodness, Peppo was gonna try and wrap the site, but Sobel swung from main. The right time. Okay, there should be no chance now. Holding onto that AK is probably best case scenario here for Shock, but doesn't even get the space to do that. Oh, well, there's another AK that's recovered. Stressarn's actually trying for this. They've got a buy around the corner. Aggro from main. Stressar not on the defuse. Had to stick a full 10 second, and that's just simply not happening. So he'll escape, or try to. Flay tracks him down. And so Venom will break in with 5. Those pistols do a lot of damage, but it's not quite threatening enough.
yeah, they are T-side though, aren't they? So they can brunt more losses. They're already up to 5. Awkward engagement here for Clocksuit. And the guns are back out. Peppo on the big green. Where will that be dispatched? Let's wait and see. He is number 9. He's going secret. Okay, it's a bit of a change up. You can see on our mini-map that I thought he was taking a lot of space early. He could be running right into this AWP if he's not careful. He sprints all the way down secret.
It's a great time for this AWP change.
They're clearly aware somebody's crossed, because you can see Peppo would normally walk up to a deeper line, but it's just a little bit too nervous.
Seems like there's been many rounds, though, where Sinners have been frozen in fear, sometimes holding steadfast, but losing outside. This is the counteraction that is so frequented. Into lobby they'll go. It's a battle of smokes inside of door. Sobol and Beast Beestick, both trying to fade it, and Sobel will get the drop, but does he expect players in from behind him? They're not gonna...
I think he knows. I think he knows. He understands that if a player's solo pushing Squeaky and they've got outside, that it's a lobby push, and that is a beautiful piece of Ring a Rosie, isn't it? As he avoids all the CT players. Sinners with their lobby push essentially vacated the site there, and I think this time the retake will be too much to ask. These guns are too valuable.
kisserek still probing, and they've got Shock inside of Hut. He's now spotted, so difficult for Shock to take the next engagement. There's 2 players in heaven, and it is planted in an ideal spot for many positions. Peppo does get a kill back on this ult, and Shock's wide swinging out for that CT vent. Sobel pressured inside of the site, and while it is a dance around the bomb site, Sobel stands his ground. The flash in, he's dancing with kisserek, but there's Clocksu there for the trade. It's again pretty damn close considering the man disadvantage, but these rounds just keep on stacking up for Venom.
They do. That one was a slam dunk save, to be honest. Still goes extremely close. So Venom, maybe after this series, a bit of a look at these A after plants. They have been a tad problematic. You're right, rounds are rounds. They're up to 6, and this is another lesser investment from the defense. A few deagles, smattering of armor, very light on the nades. kisserek is an absolute pain in the backside right now as far as Venom is concerned. It's almost like he knows exactly what they're going to do. He knows all the tricks.
Yeah, what fighting against your ex will do. Oh, there's Beestick, though, and he's also been a nuisance this series. Less of a factor on Ancient, but it's a good kill to find.
This has suddenly become a very scary round, hasn't it? No margin for error. One player behind the side, they need to find him fast. Peppo, low HP, he's gone. Look at this HP, though. Clocksu, innocent. Eagles in the mix, they'll dispatch in one, headshot or not. Beestick begins his flank. Surely somebody has to be aware this is a possibility. Shock snaps a skull in the meanwhile. Beestick rounds into Hut. Clocksu swings. Ooh, that almost connected. But I think with this smoke in heaven, it will be enough to keep Shock at bay. It's not been clean, some of these T rounds, but they are winning them.
Yeah. Seems that when it comes to these after plans or these late rounds, it has been, when in doubt, trade it out. And that has netted well here for Venom. They're fine with losing players to the bomb. They've got money available. Flake and drop. HFL will be fine. Sinners just need to make sure that they stem the bleeding. 7 rounds already on this T side is far more than you could typically ask for. If the Sinners can at least get their hands on a 5th, win that pistol, and this game is right back into your favor, lose it, and you'll have to have a near flawless T side. The problem has been so far for the Sinners that, listen, kisserek has been great. These pieces have, honestly, the Sinners have been getting their 1 kills, but they've been so disjointed or detached from one another that it hasn't ultimately bled into bigger problems for Venom in many of these rounds. And that's partially because of all this chaos that Venom are throwing their way. The fact that both extremities feel like they've been losing engagements.
Too many players have got down the vent as well. That is sown absolute chaos and carnage amongst this defense. Beestick, outer player for this team. It's the smoke. There's a player behind it. Beestick wins. Buffer dispatched. And decent information as well. We didn't see a lot else going on. I don't think Sinners will bite here and think there's a lot of players down secret at the moment. And indeed, they're not moving. kisserek 2 for him. Flay gets a response, but Surely he's lost too many teammates at this point. Innocent traded as he goes into mini. It's just Flay. Has the bomb. Plenty of ground left to cover. Tresaren's pretty well trained on his position as well. The smoke will not last an eternity too. Hoping for overfacing players, but it's not coming his way. Tresaren needs to play behind the silos for now. And we're just going to wait. Hope that somebody peeks. Not happening.
If it ends up on the B bomb site, they will overwhelm him with numbers if they can. Flay will have put this together though, no one peeking from heaven, but Tresaren finds the timing on the peak, and so it will be a 7-5 half for Venom on the attack. This decider is still heating up. We'll see how things conclude after the break.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, how will I get out of the jungle? Everybody wanna stop me. 10 more steps up the mountain. Now everybody's looking for me.
Victor in this half is in the grand final. Loser will play Monty tomorrow. Venom slim lead. But of course, early rounds, early economy in the second half will set the tone. And we have a pair of Julies out to play. Huffer with one. Cloxy with the second. And Sin is here. Bit of early facing towards Hut. They bide their time. Nades are lined up. B-Stick ready to dispatch with his smoke. What are we waiting for? Some sort of response. It doesn't come. Now the smoke starts to fly over. That's towards Mini. And an instant pop from Hut. Huffer, only the one. Bit of a duck and dive sort of strategy. Make it look like some sort of wrap, but it's not. It's a straight up Hut move. And it grants them 3 early kills. Flay and Sober with a tremendous amount of work to do. Sobel still in a tough spot, and with that goosh, I don't think a lot's going to be going on. No kits, no HP, no element of surprise. This will surely be a pistol round for Sinners before long. It's a nice kill, but it's not going to change the result, is it? 6 rounds for Sinners.
Yeah, he played for the extra money, he played for the confidence, and played for the kills. Sobel will go down with the bomb, so can't preserve that armor, but the extra cash injection can certainly help. Of course, that is something that has been helping and boosting CT sides in this season. $50 for every single player on that CT side, for every T side player killed. So you can squeak out some extra resources. That's 1 more flash per person. Or in this case, more players with head armor. So it is a force buy. They're scraping through in that pistol, but they need this conversion as well. Fast play in towards ramp, but it's a double play out from Venom, and they clear for 1, but not the other. Sobel on a Deeg just cannot connect on his shots, and they'll barrel their way towards that B bomb site, but the rotates are quick too.
Gotta give this a look. Some teams would have saved already. And maybe that is starting to look like the wiser move with hindsight. Blade's going to save his gun. Sinners playing with pace, with confidence. kisserek starting to warm up as well. And we also what he did on map 2 and he breached 40 kills. Sinners had a pretty rough first half, but they're already starting to right those wrongs. 7 all, and surely ecos to follow for the polls.
Yeah, as good as kisserek was on that Ancient, really, I'm looking at, on this T side, I'm looking at Stress Arn and Shock. Both were major propellants as well on that attack on Ancient. Saw some of the impact that Stress Arn could have even on map 1, even if many of the rounds seem to fall between their fingers. Could be quite an explosive rifler, so if these pieces start to heat up on this T side, doesn't matter how slippery you were on your own assault, you have to be able to stop what Sinners offer up. I'm expecting the hits to be a little bit more straightforward from Sinners, but maybe have a bit more polish. Venom tried to always catch backstabs and timings. I don't know if Sinners will rely on that as much. This is a ramp stack. Problem is they're exiting out from door towards the top side. It's only Kloxu inside of hut with his dualies. That could still prove to be a problem. Contact made on that flank. kisserek starts punching in the digits, but now they have to be concerned about getting swarmed out from hut. kisserek still gets that plant down. Kloxu actually didn't commit to defending the site. Went back to relay for that lobby crunch. So it's a 4-on-4.
No kit, so got to get on with this. kisserek says no. 2 fast headshots. Flay would do well to save this rifle, and I don't think kisserek's going to allow that. No, sir. 3 more for him. Sinners stumbled a little bit in the early round, but nonetheless, that is 8 on the board. Round lead taken. And now we look towards Venom and say, what do you have for us on the guns? There will be an AWP on Flay, so no excuses here. You have all the options.
Yeah, Flay had an exceptional CT side with that AWP. And they can only hope that that rears its head again, because kisserek is here and still finding multi-kills.
kisserek's just dropped down a main.
Yeah,
got in behind.
Wasn't expecting them to maintain this pace into the rifle round, but they just burst this A bomb site and rip heads clean off. This is a likely save here from Venom. They get displaced too damn fast.
1 minute 30 that bomb went down. That is exceedingly fast for a map like Nuke. Whatever plans Venom had, they never got engaged. Kisserek was so quick. Very bold player, not scared to make moves. And of course, they paid dividends in this round. Venom have got to save these guns. If they can save 3, then that's 2 drops and a good buy. If they can only save 2, put their buy into question. Looks like all these 3 guns will be held forward. But, of course, the main light here is on Sinners.
It's such a classic call to just go for a fast play, especially when you're playing on a bonus. You know, usually it's when the CTs save in that second round, and they go in with the first where they're lacking head armor. You've still got SMGs. Go for these fast topside assaults, especially on that first gun round. Feels very reminiscent of metas of old. It's fallen out of fashion a little bit, but Sinners just keep it simple. They go for that topside exec and they get everything they could possibly want. They, you know, talking about plans for the AWP, yeah, you bypass that completely if you go with such pace.
Early util dispatched. I think they're just... Oh my god, it's the same round. It's the same round, but a few seconds delayed. That is crazy. B-Stick. The bravery to call a similar move. And it seems to be causing chaos. We're in a 2-on-2 situation. The bomb is yet to be planted. Flay is brave and brash and dead off the back of that. 1v2 now for Innocent. Surely not. Surely not. Double peak comes through and B-Stick. Brave. Very, very brave to call that again.
Call that the Sinner's bomb site blitz. He just keeps on going to the same site, same assault, but slightly different timing. And they didn't end up with these entries as cleanly as they did last time. But they trade out and they capitalize on these forward plays of Venom trying to get range back on the site itself.
That is crazy. It's also it's a long time ago now, but he did the same on Mirage. He double called an early B hit. And on that occasion, Venom was so well positioned that it got absolutely mauled. So, big pair on B-Stick. Not sure he walks around with those.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But he's not one to try it 3 times in a row.
No, that would be too much.
Just a little bit of spice. So it's outside this time here for the Sinners. Spam does connect onto Peppo, who does make a step, so there is awareness of this breaking into the big garage, but how much are they going to be able to utilize that stress harm? A beautiful entry. Flay was holding for that inevitability. HVA has to make his move into lobby and lands the headshot to Shock. Sobol needs a kill back and will succeed. That's finishing the job onto Peppo. Just how do you play this top side? You know that Stressarn's trapped inside of heaven, but he's constant pressure you have to worry about. This is a good adjustment into ramp. Out from hut. Shock is sitting right above, and as he turns away, wait. No, Sobol did not clear it, and so it still ends up being a kill for Shock. On his low health, he has found a backstab, and it's the B bomb site that's targeted. The Kloxu is here, and he catches them just as they try to take safety in that smoke. And as good as Kisserek is, time is against him. He has no position to plant. Venom snaking their way through again. Sinners with 10 different options that they activate on. And they still find a way out.
I'm not sure Venom deserved this after Shock is overlooked. Otsu is an absolute hero. There towards the end, this game is heating up. And I'll tell you what, both teams are running out of cash. Someone is going to snap soon. Key round to follow to set the tone as we get into the business end on map 3 of the series. And Sinners route outside. Early smokes down. Kisserek, of course, leads the way. Deeper smoke starting to land. I think the CT should read that there are numbers down secret. They wouldn't have committed this much util without a reason. Where are the rotations? Sobel is down. Ramp picked up by Flay. In the meantime, bit of a lobby move. Double push at a hut. Shock looks away, but is still trained in this direction. Finds a good find to Clocksu. Connects. He'll know now what's going on. They'll know the lobby's been pushed. They should accelerate lower. Missing the timing. Now they're moving. Big acceleration. Kisserek leads the way. Laboured spray seeds. Sobel collect 2. And that buys just enough time as well for Flay to get a move on. Peppo might just want to save, I think, because this is impossible.
I did not expect Sobel to end up with 2 kills, only to go down on the 3rd. His position was perfect on B. Didn't take the typical rafters angle. He was committed to that lower site very early. Sat by Tetris and just simply mauled them as they came out from decon. This was a good read here from Venom. Not only the aggression into lobby to counteract the fast play outside, but also the spot that Sobel offered up. 17 kills for him.
Counter-terrorists win.
This is high-level Counter-Strike because I can't criticize Sinners for the decisions they made. They made the right mid-round decision. They have players down secret. They see it's a lobby push. You know that B is less defended. You know that there can't be many players here. That's why they sprint. That's why it's haphazard. It makes perfect sense. It all just hinges on killing Sobel quickly. And they can't, because Sobel is an absolute beast. And that's how we find ourselves here. Sinners money snapped. Money out of balance. Unless Peppo can do something monstrous on this orb, we'll be a 10-all soon enough.
Okay, well, Innocent just spammed him straight through a smoke, so Peppo's dead. That AWP can change hands. But it will be not exactly designated to your primary anymore. And it could even be a conversation about whether you try and hold on to it for the following round. But they'll still search. Peppo's on $0. Save that AWP from the round prior. So if they lose possession of this weapon, he will almost certainly be shortchanged. Dressarn will still peer out from red, peeking deeper and deeper, and catches the shoulder of Innocent, who goes out swinging. Him and Flay tether off each other nicely. And, well, now Dressarn just making sure that they don't get the AWP. So if I can't have it, you can't either. 10 rounds tied between these two in our decider map. A fight to retain position in the upper bracket. Book yourself straight into that final and vie for a position in ESL Pro League.
It's worth saying that with our format here, there's no advantage minus less games played for that grand final. So we could very likely, I think, see this play out again in 2 days' time. And what a prospect that is. Still, they've invested so much into this series. They will not want to test their luck against a Monty who, once they run hot and cold, certainly can win maps when they're firing on all cylinders. Kisserek, B-Stick already chiming in. These are straight in and around these smokes. Early frags for them. And another found inside onto Klotsu. So this round is not looking good for the CT side. Gonna opt to play double on A. But, well, we can see the bombs heading rampant. There's a lot of free real estate, so this could quickly develop into a save, I think.
Sobel made noise, so they're hyper fixated on his position in at hell. The jig is up. They both know what each other are doing, but do you even give this an honest look in the 2-on-4?
You need to save, right?
Down that vent.
You need these guns are too valuable. I appreciate they can still buy in the following round, but this is a game where every round's going to count. Flay does find one. This would be unbelievable. It's 2v4 and nobody's looking. Decon,
no way.
what is happening? Sobel finds 2. And it's all on Shock to save his team's blushes. First found, just Sobel. And Shock does just that. Wow. What is happening?
They suspected he might be in the smoke. They're turning each and every way. Shock on that lurk. The fact that he hadn't revealed position pays off in spades for him because they have no idea which direction's next.
It's another round as well where they should have saved. And they make it so close.
If every round is valuable, then why not give it a try? There's definitely good arguments to have saved. But each and every round feels so damn close.
Blunted the buy as well here for Sinners. Tech 9, Galil out. At least Util was pretty good. They've got kisserek down lower. Innocent in and around Secret 2, so these two could come to blows at any moment. Innocent jiggles for now. His 4 teammates are all lobby. Oops, back up. Quick check outside. Didn't see a great deal. And I think ramp will be the port of call soon. Smoke is deployed. Will this be respected? Shock goes up close. Has a teammate nearby. They're going to go through this. Sobel off the angle for the moment. Now knows what's up. Flay, one and done. He is dispatched. Still kisserek waits. Waits and waits and waits. When does he make his move? Now starts to move down Secret. Innocent. Already up into control, and he doesn't last long. Sobel's in decon. Please tell me somebody's holding this position. Smoke obfuscates the plant just enough to get it down. And kisserek is still in the back lines. Surely he can come over and deal with Sobel soon enough. Huffer can't win his duel. And these guns now are too much to give away. Sobel needs to get out before he is pinched. Get up this ladder. Indeed he does. Nevertheless, 12 for Sinners off the back of a huge round from Shock.
Yeah, I mean, they almost made it work in the 2v4. Sobel is still being a nuisance on this lower side, but he doesn't have a kit. He has nothing to really threaten or keep these players on the Sinner side in proximity, but he's still doing damage on his exit. Heppa should have him dead to right. Sobel will die to the bomb by not rounding the corner. But if you gave it a good swing in the 2-on-4, the 3-on-4 doesn't feel quite as bad, but it goes much worse. As soon as they lose Innocent, they did not have tons in the back pocket. Them saving these weapons has sustained another buy, but...
Just.
Only just.
One save earlier would have given them an AWP, so there's a little bit sacrificed, but could have been worse. Could have been worse. 2 chances for Sinners. Been a brutal series. An absolute slog. Second map absolutely could have slipped the way of Venom when we hit those overtimes. But Sinners said no. Kisserek said no. He opens up the scorecard here in round 23, as he has done all series. Been such a menace. Shock now deploys out towards ramp. Huffer's the only player nearby, and Shock wins that fight. Instant headshots. Clocksu now tasked with a lot of work as he begins to flank from Secret. Sobel's all on his lonesome on this lower side of the map. Flay is trying to reposition. Shock's in such an awkward position. Sobel loops back to clear as well. Can Shock get anything more out of this round? Looking the wrong way. He cannot, but at least he can confirm these positions. Bit haphazard as we're swinging out, guys. Let's use some nades. Now they're getting deployed. Still, though, a point of entry. Tresarin is low. Does he realize players have slipped out? It is hella awkward. Tresarin is dispatched, and now it's on B-Stick to try and end the game, and he cannot. Shots hit, but no frag. Full 24 required.
And just another round where both teams are reading what the next action is. Both stall out. Both wait. They don't pull the trigger on the brunt of the retake or their aggressions to B. They slow down. They hold for flanks. The peel back from Sobel just to help his teammate in at ramp, only to lose Clocksu's timing on the Secret flank. This should have been a knockout punch. They got the kills they wanted. They got towards that site with heavy numbers. But they drop the ball, so this could very well end up in another overtime game. That's absolutely right. They come in with 2 Galils, a Tech 9, and a couple AKs. All their resources already expended just to set up for early map control. They've got 1 smoke. That will be it.
Kisserek has an AK, and that's all I need right now. Shock, though, is gone. Lobby presence from Venom nets them the opener. And they're keeping it simple. 4 players down secret. Nobody's moving.
Why
for
is
Venom
not... Yeah, no one's even thought about this lower site.
They don't believe
Full
it.
wall of smokes. Sobol the only one now to go over and face check it, but he might be too late to the party.
He is looking in control, but I'm not sure he's really aware of just how far advanced these players are.
Oh dear, now he knows.
This is not a brilliant position, I wouldn't have thought. Swiftly traded. He does find 1. Can we get any util onto ramp? Early rotations as players drop down the vent. Innocence collects Kisserek. Bomb not planted. And overtime at this point is destiny. It's just Peppo. He's completely surrounded. The bomb is yet to be scooped. Venom, pull it off. Here we go again.
Yeah, as if it was going to be concluded in regulation. Absolutely not. From Ancient into Nuke, we require more than just 24. And once Sobol got himself into that position at Tetris, I started to have flashbacks again of his hold where he got 2 where he shouldn't. But 1 was enough. He's had a big map. Sobol's been hyper-mobile in their efforts to retake lobby, to pick up that B bomb site, to support A. He has been everywhere.
Squeaky move. Oh, we're getting a bit lost in the sauce here. That bomb does get down the vent. Took its time, but it's down. 2 players lower for this T side, and the CTs are flummoxed. It's quite similar to a round we saw earlier in this game where there are players spread all over. Sinners, though, they've got 3 down lower. They've got 2 players holding all these outer rotations, and I think this is just too much to deal with. As the CT side, they're trained on getting down secret and not dealing with 2 lurkers. It is overtime, so they'll run into the fray, but they're pretty well surrounded right now. Time is starting to dwindle, and they are dispatched. Sinners comes a little late, but they get to 13.
Yeah, I mean, what do you even do there if you're Venom? You hear this presence down the vent. You don't get the stop from ramp to prevent them into the site. You know that vent is being watched. And then when you try and go towards secret, they're being fought from silo and outside of main. It's just... yeah, a little too much. 1 lurker you could maybe trade out, but 2 can't even move.
B-stick. Very aggressive move, and he is found. Innocent, though, doesn't last long. What have we got? Kisserek. Kisserek's just sprinting lower. He's got so much room to play with. Cloxy was down there. And I don't think Kisserek's going to stop. Definitely not. I don't think Cloxu knows.
He missed the timing. He crouched to look at the vent.
Well, neither of them, though. That's the curiosity right now. Sobol is not really considering players could be out at lobby
entrance. Dive the
entrance.
vent. This could be disastrous.
This is a strange one. Kisserek's moving back. Such a matter of time. And is Clox even considering a player can be on that side? No, but he turns. What a bizarre series of chess moves there. More like battleships, I guess. Nobody knows what's going on. Trying to piece together the pieces. Flay begins his flank from radio. Bomb is heading A for now. Can Flay get a good timing? It's an open plant for him. Stressaren comes off it. Does get the bomb down, but Peppo is now in a really tough position. Does snap the skull as Clocksu. Can he deal with Flay? No, he can't. 96 damage found, but not the final 4. 13 apiece.
Oh, my days. I wasn't entirely sure that he'd pull it off. Not only got the kill on the planter, but his teammate in Clocksu dancing up and down that ladder. Peppo hit the whack-a-mole. And Clocksu waited a second longer, perhaps. He could have actually swung together, emerging from that ladder, but they're just happy Flay pulled through. Yeah, no round is ever certain. Everything comes down to mid and late rounds.
I mean, obviously in regulation, they weren't saving in 2v4s and they're going close. There's no reason to save anymore. So, until you hear that round end klaxon, it is still live. Still potential. Kisserek making moves. Player behind him is spamming. Give him room to maneuver.
It's actually insane how many times Kisserek has kind of just had his way with his starting line outside. Well, okay, this time over. He stalled in Big Garage and Innocence found the headshot. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything.
Round's not done. Good thing though for the CT side is the information game. Well, it was for a moment. Innocent totally dispatched. Player behind these silos, that's Huffer. A little bit of awkward positioning, but does his job at least. Peppo, awkward fights, catches the player up the vent. Final man is on A, and we somehow find ourselves in a one-on-one. What is happening? Carnage on the site. And Peppo this time gets it done.
Yeah, might have lost the head-to-head with Flay last time over, but similar positions this time with his weapon of choice. 2-1. They'll take it.
This is getting progressively more insane as we go along. Kind of I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not been wacky in a bad way. You know, it's someone making a counterplay to a crazy move that someone else is doing and finding entries. So much of what's happening is logical. I think that's the best thing that I could really say. You know, these are protocoled counteractions. But when it is absolute carnage, when there's this wide net cast from an aggressive T side, there's sometimes just too many holes to plug.
Been a lot of rounds where someone's prepared to make a very aggressive move, be that, you know, with so many vent dives, Kisserek getting room on outside, lobby pushes, whatever, and it just causes carnage because everybody is everywhere. And then it's, can we join the pieces fast enough? Who in the retake is more so on the same page? That's been the story.
We've seen a couple of times on the outside crosses that, you know, teams will throw that and throw nobody down to lower. You know, occasionally we'll see CTs play very heavy to A, sometimes totally disregard B and play for effectively a B-side retake, calling the bluff. And the times that we've seen either of these teams do that, it actually has been like a heavy secret play. You know, there have been starting ideas or philosophies that have not worked out, and then we've just ended up in this slaughter in the late round.
Onwards we go. And in round 28, the third and final map of the series, Shock has said, I feel like a double AWP. Peppo main AWPer does collect first. Where is Shock? He's towards ramp. See if that AWP becomes a presence later on. B-Stick is committed. Look at him. He's just outside of CT spawn, sat down. They've been wrapped. They were wrapped so many times in regulation, weren't they? And I think B-Stick has learned his lesson. Innocent, no idea. Look at the adjustments.
Now, a player could still slip by. A ducked out Sobol. This angle from Beastic is decent, but this crawl from Sobol could find him an advantage on the fight. Or Flay goes hunting. Okay, I think Beastic saw the posture of that player and just simply tried to escape. And he escapes as well. Shock will pick up the slack in towards Hell. And so, sure, you might have the Hell wrap, but you can't ascend to heaven.
Can't believe it. Can't believe it. It's like a player camping their position in free-for-all. He just sits there. He's like, I'm not moving. I'm not moving. I've got some good angles. Okay. 2 chances to get this done for Sinners. Take a moment and breathe. I believe they dropped the double AWP as well. The Shock, I'm not sure Shock fired a bullet in anger, did he? It's not in the early round.
Yeah.
Opposite the AK instead. Here we go. 2 big rounds for Venom. What can they conjure up? What are you calling, Innocent? Oh, they look a bit more reserved than earlier. There were a lot of vent dives, a lot of fast inner moves, but this round is more default. Sobel decides I'm going to press the issue myself. Millimeters away from each other. But for the moment, obscured by the smoke.
If there's ever an emergence out from vent, though, this could be
my
bad. They're just walking out from door, and they check the vent. Flay turn to attention. Beastic taking a kill outside, but they lose the inner bomb site. That's all they need. A contact play out through the door smoke. Shock and Peppo nowhere to be seen.
Kisserek can't believe it. Not the best time to be stuck in the vents. Some of these retakes have gone close, but you'd hope the Venom have learned their lesson. Peppo doesn't fully clear. It's his demise. Shock isn't winning this one. Surely not. Surely not. There's players
To
too
be strange
nearby.
and unusual punishment. Oh no, the damage is good, but out from main, they don't even have an angle on it. HVA has to swing out from heaven, but it comes down to last seconds. HVA saves it. Venom barely hang on as there's almost
I think they need to pause.
heroics from Shock.
Holy moly. Oh my, that is something else.
He knew exactly what he was doing.
He actually, I mean, he did everything right, but it's like, had he killed them really fast, I think he gets that.
Absolutely.
It was just the slight, it wasn't any good play from the other two. It was simply the losing a bit of time on the frags. That will put the fear of God into Venom. And now Sinners come looking. They want to be the proactive team. They're making moves in lobby. Kisserek's just spamming, trying to pull some attention. He's been such a menace at a squeaky and hut that nobody's looking. Shock finds one. Clocksu decides, no, you're not getting away. Tit for tat as it has been all series. This is on a knife edge.
Yeah. It'll be a forced readjustment as well. Wall of smokes outside to threaten secret control. Beastic is in earshot. He can hear steps towards those... the descent to lower. The stress on. Check the smoke. Clocksu just turns about to hit the headshot. And while Beastic deals with one in main, they lose control of this top side. Peppo caught by the Molotov. Kisserek actually ascending and getting back onto that bomb site. Stops the plant. Clocksu tries to deal with it, but Kisserek is too much to handle. It has to be Innocent, a man that could clutch, but denied by Kisserek, the pure hero of the Sinners. They lock in that grand finals.
Former player goes nuclear. Here on Nuke, Kisserek wins the series for his team. What an absolute marathon of a series with those last 2 maps going over OT. But Sinners, very much deserving. We said it coming into this series. They've been in stellar form. But equally, they were pushed a lot harder in this series than they have been so far.